What's good? What's good? Welcome to the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I am Jesse. Join with me today. What's the status, man? It's been a minute. We've been trying to get you on the show for a year now, and this finally is happening.
Yeah.
So good to see you, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good. It's another work day for me. You know what I mean? So it's busy as
Yeah.
always. So, man,
Understand.
obviously a lot to cover with WWE 2K25. We're now we're launched, I guess, except for, we're waiting for the 14th is when the game is worldwide
It's
for standard.
when I come out Friday, 7th? On the 7th, right?
Yeah, something like that. So,
Okay. Almost there.
but, we're getting there. We're getting there. Everybody's going to have their hands on it soon, man. We're waiting for a couple more patches. Not as good of a game for creators this year. That is something that we were kind of talking about off air, and maybe we finish this discussion over here on Pro Wrestling Shoot.
Yeah.
How you feeling about the
Uh,
creation situation over there on 2K25?
like create a wrestler, create a belt. There's a bunch of stuff.
Well, create a wrestler, I guess. Create an arena, I guess, is not updated too. So, guess we can dive into that if you wanted to.
That's not a mode I touch too much. I've been getting myself informed on it because if I ever get invited again, which I don't think I will, but if I do, that's definitely something I'm going to talk about because even create a belt itself is just kind of forgotten about. But for a create a superstar, when I was there at Creator Fest, that's a lot of the issues that I mentioned are still there. So I don't know how long it takes to just patch something up, call it a day. But right now, we're at levels of like regression of like 2K20. I don't want to exaggerate that the game is 2K20, but like when it comes to creating, is textures not lining up, textures morphing, a bunch of stuff that are just like logos with opacity. It's just ridiculous. So
So when you say opacity for the logos, like you can't change the opacity at all for logos? Because I was
the
messing with one the
option,
other day and I was able to.
well, that's the thing. When it first came out, you couldn't. I think the
Oh,
latest
okay.
patch fixed some of them, but there's a lot of items that had opacity that just don't have anymore. So materials don't work on certain logos, even like normal ones. So it sounds like nerd talk for it, but it's a necessity.
Right.
I guess the average user wouldn't understand. They'll just download, put in their game, and move on. But like things like that is kind of the struggle for when creators because we have to find ways to work how, like finding loopholes to make the game work how it's supposed to, right?
Right.
Which I think is ridiculous in a sense, and like no disrespect to anybody at Visual Studios, but it's this game. We had a whole new mode with the island, and it's based off of your created wrestler, and I just felt like they won. That mode should have been, ready to go.
You're talking about the creator wrestler should have been ready to go because it's two separate things.
Yeah,
In the island, you can't do as much
you have
as
to
you can off.
you still have to create a wrestler, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
when your character is overly shiny and things like that, it just like I pick a shirt in the island and I can't recolor it or I can't put materials on it. It's like
Which is weird because
2024,
my base setup for the island when I got in there was one of the t-shirts that you unlock, I think, for getting the Bloodline edition, and it's the
Yeah.
Yeet t-shirt. You can change the color of that. I changed the color.
I was just straight up just recreating Howdy because I got the mask with the blue light edition too.
Right.
And like the actual island exclusive things, you can't really change much about them. At least the ones that I have, right? So
Right.
not counting hair because you can change the color of hair, but like I think I have a clown mask that I just got for no reason, and you can't do anything to it. I don't know if that's the case now because I haven't touched it. I have a question here.
Yeah. Alton with the $9.99 man says, "Hey, status, did you ask the devs why they didn't add LED barricades to Creation Suite, and do you think they will add it in a patch?"
Yes, that's the thing with since we're on the subject of what I asked, what I didn't ask, there was no creation suite either. There was no character designer either.
Really
You can confirm
strange.
that.
Really
You can
strange.
confirm that, right? I felt a
Yes.
bit lost because I kept going to everybody like, "Hey, this is not working." I did ask about that. I was told that it's being looked into. I don't know if it's gonna be patched. Like like I said before, I stuff that I asked at that event is still broken. What, 2 extra patches? Because I think we played version 1.1 or 2,
Mhm. Yeah.
and one version 1.4. I don't know that process. I'm not gonna say here call people lazy or they're not listening, but I don't really know the process of what it takes to something get officially approved and then inject into the game. That would be unfair to judge people on that.
Right.
But most of the stuff that I would mention there was I'm slowly seeing it, I guess. I guess the opacity is back for some stuff, but not for everything.
Yeah. I was
So a
just
lot of
messing with the
silly
logo
limits
the
there.
other day, because I'm trying to get my Rise guy together so I can finally start this My Rise. It's the one mode that I haven't played in this game so far. And yeah,
Yeah.
the opacity was working fine on that. But I didn't. Once again, I'm not a creator, so I don't know what it is
Well, I
that
am, so I can answer a
you
lot
guys
of
go through.
questions.
So
I
uh,
just felt like I felt like some stuff wasn't I felt like it's a little early for the island.
yeah,
And I probably saw like the biggest island hater because I kind of like Drew McIntyre against the whole bloodline, but it's I'm just being honest. I feel like this game is not ready for an online game lobby, especially the way the online services are. My experience with online has been something, you know.
has it
And
been
when the
good for
island
you
was,
this year? Like, have you played online at all outside of the island?
I've
Because
I've
me
played
and some of the
online.
community, we've played together online on PS5, and it was working
Mhm.
fine. So, but I
Yeah,
am seeing reports everywhere.
I play on Xbox. I
Okay.
haven't touched to like that's mainly what I play. I play 2 matches online on the PlayStation 5 because that's what I have now. Um, I don't know if the second one I just beat the guy, if I split from him because he just stopped moving. But things happen. I don't know if he just but the second one everything worked. With the island, it's a hit or miss because sometimes I'll connect to a match and then midway through, like the match starts and I'm disconnected. Right. And I don't have bad internet. It doesn't happen to any other games. It doesn't happen to Marvel Rivals. It doesn't happen in Fortnite. It doesn't happen to things like that. It just happens in this game.
In 2K. Well, 2K's always been known for not the best servers, right? So,
Well, and that's
that's one.
fine, right? Like, but at the same time, it's like you're gonna introduce a mode that involves online.
Right.
And I think the servers are better than 24, but at the same time, early access still, right? We don't have the whole crowd in here yet.
Not yet, not yet. But there are a couple of patches coming through, so we're just I don't know. We just got to wait and see. The problem with the patches is I always worry because 2024, 2023, 2022, like I can go on and on. The patches will keep rolling out, but then something else
Breaks.
goes out for us. You know what I mean? So that's the only concern I have when it comes to multiple patches per game. I'm
Yeah.
hoping that they can get it together for whatever's rolling out here shortly, right? Like whatever's rolling out, hopefully they can get that creation suite together, and hopefully this online
Um,
server issue is fixed.
I have hopes for it, but I kind of need to see it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because like
Yeah,
I don't want to say that these guys when they work on it they don't care about the game because I feel like that would be a bit dishonest. They definitely do. They definitely want to put a good product. But, at times I just feel like creation stuff is not necessarily a priority because it's not really tied to maybe to microtransactions. Maybe it's not tied to actual gameplay. You know what I mean? Like the average person makes their guy in probably like 10 seconds, 5 minutes, calls it a day, slaps a moveset of these shirts on, no offense to you, and then just calls it a day. You know, just
yeah.
plays. So I figured sometimes they kind of just shove it away, and it's okay. We'll deal with that later. They revamped the cast, the Career Superstar UI menu. Not a fan of it. Uh, don't like the whole square pick a box re-edit. I thought everything was fine the way it was, but and I feel like it's a little slower than 24.
On the cause menu in
Yeah.
general, or okay, all right, yeah. So I mean, when it comes to the creation, I don't think that necessarily all of the devs feel like that's not a priority. I've spoken with David Friedland, right? He's been on the
Um,
show, and that dude seemed at off air. We spoke to him.
that's what I'm
He
saying. I'm
and
not saying they don't care. I'm
yeah,
just saying maybe time restraints kind of puts that at the last. You know what I mean?
I
Maybe
do
this
think
is
it
like,
was.
hey,
I do think it was strange that David Friedland wasn't at the Creator Fest. He was the only him and his team were the only set of devs that
I wanted
didn't
to talk to him and I wanted to talk to the
didn't
character
make it.
designer
So
because because I feel like there's models in the game that need to be. Have you seen the Finn Balor, the demon
Yeah,
one?
yeah. You don't like it?
Have you noticed like the hair goes through his headpiece?
No, I haven't used him that much, but I,
Okay,
I
use
did
Finn
record
Balor
it.
today.
I
Use Finn
recorded an
Balor today.
entrance with him.
Finn Balor, the demon one, the red
Okay.
attire. It's inaccurate. Let's start with that. It's a 2017 attire when he faced Bray at SummerSlam, and he's wearing like a 2019 entrance attire, and his hair is glitching through it, and the little armbands are glitching through his wrist. And when I look at that, I'm just like, man, like what was the process here? You know what I mean? No disrespect to anybody, but I'm like,
Right.
does y'all play with entrances all?
Was that so? Question, and forgive me for being knowledgeable about this, but we've had Bray Wyatt, or not Bray Wyatt, sorry, the Demon Finn Balor in the My Rise series last year, correct?
Yes, but he didn't have an entrance off it.
But was this the same model from last year's My Rise? Okay, so maybe there wasn't.
It was time.
I don't know about time, but maybe there just wasn't priority for it. Maybe, hey, fans want this in.
Right,
They want the My Rise characters. Let's throw them in.
But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I just feel like if time is an issue, then just copy and paste how he was before, right? So if you take the 2002 K22 model, right, which he was there too,
right,
which is a 2019 Balor outfit with the right entrance attire, everything was accurate. Just copy that. Instead, it's like a mismatch of 2017 with the 2019 outfit, and then his hair is going through the headpiece. And this is $130 game. This isn't a $30 indie game. If I want to buy the best edition, which I do because it like gameplay wise, it's a good game. I like playing it. But when I see things like that, I get a bit deflated because I'm thinking like clearly is this just okay, just call it a day. You know what I mean? Or maybe they just forgot about him, that he was there, I have a lot of that was something I wanted to talk to about in Creative Fest was that
David
was the creation and the character design and implementation of certain things. And I know certain people, if they're past, you can't really do much, right? But just taking Bray Wyatt and slapping a Fiend mask on him and then go, well, that's good enough. To me, as a fan, it's not. His hairline is completely off because he returned with less hair, I mentioned that in there as well. It's like, but Santos Escobar, for example, he's another one. He has a gray beard for some reason. Maybe he was scanned that way. Maybe he was, they scanned him that day. He had a gray beard and they just called it a day. But on TV, everything is dyed, and the game should replicate what's on TV.
Right. I agree with that. I really do think that at the end of the day, it just comes down to time restraints when it comes to these guys, man. They have over 300 superstars to deal with the game. They're putting multiple modes. They're putting a new island. They got tons of shit.
I did tell you, if you're going to add something new, it just becomes more standing in that truck.
Right. I remember saying last year, I was like, dude, if it came down to it, man, I would take a year to where, and I know people would hate this comment, and they probably still hate this comment, but I'd take a year where they just gave me a fucking game that works all together, no patches needed, updated models, and that's it. No new modes.
I don't think that's a realistic.
No, it's not. It's
approach because all games are gonna have bugs, and I can't forgive bugs. I'm okay with forgiving bugs.
Yeah.
But at times I feel like even some of the personas last year, some stuff is just kind of it's done, or maybe it's a different studio that's different artists. But when a persona is something you have to essentially not spend money on it, but you have to grind for a long time or buy packs to get it.
Have you played MyFaction this year?
Yeah, it's a lot better than last year. But I've always been a fan of MyFaction. I didn't like the whole.
Oh, you have?
Them locked in. Yeah, I've played since 22. I like playing it.
Oh wow. Okay.
So
I was not a fan last year. And that was the only year that I played. So.
I still don't like Faction Wars. That it has its own currency because that was the bread and butter. But back to the superstars like Scott Steiner 03, right? When he's wearing a 98 attire.
Yeah.
It's like
they finally put his Strons in this year though. I don't like the model of Scott Steiner, like the big Papa Pump.
No, I'm glad they put his body in calm mode. I was like, oh shoot, that's a very unique type. And they also put Lesnar's and Edge. I think Vince. They put all those bodies in calm mode if you're in a crate, which is good. And this year, like on a positive sense of calm mode, they put a lot of like in-game superstars hairs, which is
Yeah.
so needed. Like I always felt it was so stupid to add the attire parts, but not the hair, because you're killing two birds with one stone kind of thing, right? Because it's like,
Right.
okay, every year we get new hairs. When we finally do, 15 of them are locked in the island, I think, which is okay. It's not much compared to the big addition that they added this year. So I was completely okay with forgiving that.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit because
I don't
originally
agree
when
with
this
it,
whole huh?
but I don't agree with hair being an island thing that you
Yeah.
have to buy. But me and Simply Bad at the time, we were talking to them and saying that I don't think hair should be a thing. We understand clothes and we understand, branding and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
me and Simply Bad were like, hair is like, it's not a thing. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Another thing with speaking of feedback, a lot of guys there do give genuine feedback. Like there's always this perception that they don't, or they just go there to like yell. But it's like, nah, like especially the vibe guys I was talking to them, they generally are in there giving feedback.
Yeah, they're
So
cool guys.
it's yeah. So I was kind of shocked because of all the stuff that I'd heard. Um
Yeah. I think like you said, everybody had this like perception of certain people that when they would go in,
yeah,
they didn't, give any feedback or anything. But
no,
honestly, when meeting
everybody that I was
Jaron
next to, I
and
saw a lot of
Aaron,
feedback.
they were cool, man. They were cool. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So speaking about, the island and hairs being locked behind it and stuff like that. When we got the first impression of the island, I remember messaging you about the whole community creations split, right? Cross
Hmm.
gen split. And I honestly didn't think that it was going to be what it is.
I remember.
Because when I read it, I thought, okay, this can mean one of two things. Either they're splitting cross gen or they're just locking island parts behind the island and they're
It should
not
be.
shareable.
It
Which
should be the method, really.
yeah,
You
I
should
mean
you should just
I agree.
like it's
But
like DLC. You don't own it. Well, if you can't own it because you don't have the island, then you upgrade or you get the console version to get it.
the the consensus is that this was due to hardware limitations, and I understand like from a PC aspect and from what you do.
I don't. I and I spoke to Brian Williams about that too. Again, it's one thing. It's another thing with when people attack these developers. Just be respectful. And I told him respectfully that I don't agree with that. That's seems like an answer he was just told to say. Right? Maybe I'm wrong. I
Well,
don't make the game.
when it comes to Brian, that was something that he was reading off because that's what he was told. Obviously, Brian doesn't work or make those type of decisions. He's just a
Yeah,
gameplay
of
guy,
course. But
right? So
he was super nice, and we were in the lobby speaking. We had a good time. Like, but when I see something that's not, you know, that's not a real answer. It's not
right,
hardware limitations because the game has a specific file that's it registers what profile it's going to load. Where if it's PlayStation profile, PS4, Xbox
right,
Series X, yada yada. PC has two files. It has one called PC and one called PC 4K. It
okay,
depends on what hardware you have. So if your hardware is garbage, then you're gonna load the standard one, which is the PlayStation version, right? If your
right,
hardware is good, which mine is, and I want to emphasize on that, a lot of people's are, because the game is not a next gen game. No disrespect to anybody again. That's not a next gen experience, but all due respect. It's a good
current
game.
gen,
Love it. Play it
current
every
gen,
day. Well, but it doesn't feel like a PlayStation 5 game to me. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, and
I
not
think
to
it
shy
feels
away
more
from
like
that.
I think that it feels a lot more like a PlayStation 5 game this year than it did for PS4. But at the same, or I mean, sorry,
I'm not
2K24. But
I don't see I don't see like a drastic improvement. And let's get to the current gen stuff because it was split, right?
right,
Um, clearly that's doesn't make sense because right now if you upload from the PS4 version of the game from the PS5, it goes straight to the PS4 community creation. I mean, to PS5 community creation. So it's not a, it's just a decision. Well, if that decision was made because hackers on the PC, which is a concern, I can absolutely understand, right? But I don't think hardware limitations is the case here. We can't predict what was Brian said. We can't predict anybody's hardware. You
right,
absolutely can. You literally make those rules like, okay, this is the minimum that I need to run this game. So if this year was the year where it's like, well, we're moving, upgrade your hardware. We need lower, like, every game you go to. I don't know if you play games on the PC. It tells you straight up. You need these
Yeah, I remember.
settings.
Yeah.
Wherever graphics card is, just move that up, and that's it. That's just progression of evolution. The No disrespect to anybody who owns a PS4 and Xbox One, but the PS5 came out in 2020.
Let me ask you
It,
something real quick.
it's just good.
When it comes to these games, do you think that they haven't made the full switch to current gen due to sales, possibly good sales on the PS4, Xbox One, PC? Because
I think
I have
I
a
think
feeling 2K26 is going straight to just PS5, Xbox
I
Series
do
X.
too.
I wouldn't be
I
surprised
do
if
too.
PC's cut out altogether next year.
I have the exact same feeling. I feel like this is just the process of uh, uh making big bucks to get 25. I don't know if I pops in my head and I do it one day, maybe. I'm surprised it's not even one out yet. I feel like it's a slow process to weed out the PC version or the Xbox and the PS4, which I don't know why. I get it, but there's not much we can do, right? But I
I
do have
understand.
I have like a 90 to 10 idea that next year or the year after is just like, well, bye. We're just gonna focus on PS6 or whatever they're gonna jump then, which
Right,
sucks.
right.
But
I
and because there's a very dedicated community and modders that buy this game, and thank you, I appreciate that. Yes, we did it for Uncle Howdy, legendary Yubi. There's dedicated people who, and essentially this year being held back because of last gen, which is not true because the game runs perfectly. I've run the game PS5 and current gen at the same time, and it's the
don't get
same
me
thing.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want to see PS4 and Xbox One go away, but I don't think it makes any sense creatively to get rid of it on
I
on
wanted to
PC.
go away if the change is different.
Correct.
Like
Yeah. Let me rephrase that because that's yeah.
if I'm a content creator and now that you're going, well, the PS4 has to stay behind because of the island. I'm expecting more now because these past games I'm a bit more generous because it's like it's meant to be operating on an Xbox One that came out in 2013, I
Been a
think.
minute. It's been a minute for sure.
So I'm generous. I can understand why the game looks the way it does, the crowd looks the way it does, and the way it's presented because it's meant to go from a console from 10 years ago to one that came out 5 years ago. So there's restrictions to make sure everybody's happy. When you introduce the whole concept of we're splitting because of hardware issues or hardware limitations. Um, in no disrespect to Brian, but that's the factual answer we're gonna use here. Then I expect a little bit more of the PlayStation 5. Why do I still have 100 call slots? Why do I still have 60 layers on my cards? Why do I still have only 1,000 on the PS5 version?
Well,
There's
once
no
again,
restrictions anymore.
these guys don't think that there is any reason to go past 100. Every time that I've interviewed every dev, they're like, "Yo, that's a lot. That's a lot of." But they don't understand what you guys do
And
on the back end, right? With
but
the
but
attires and all
that's
that other
but
stuff.
then it's a disconnect with their community. It's
Yeah.
there's no other words. If they're telling you that, then it's a bit of a disconnect. And maybe things. If I ever get invited again, if I do, it's something that I want to emphasize. Me and Diva that were there just to specifically talk about COD mode. I told them you covered the female side of things. Let them know what the issues are, and I'll stay here on the male one. And I'll also go over Creative Belt because me and Cornell we spoke a lot about Creative Belt. That mode has not been updated since like 2K20. And you can look at me and you can be
Created
like,
arena
what?
too.
Like, what does it need to be updated? Creative Belt, bro. We don't even have like the Rhea Ripley world title, the Gunther one. None of that stuff is on the Creative Belt templates. It's clearly there because I uploaded a bunch of them last year.
Yeah.
It's planned to work. It's just not enabled because I don't know. They just forgot.
Listen,
And
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you what needed to be upgraded or not because I haven't created since probably
that's
2K15.
completely fine. There's
You
a
know what I
bunch
mean?
of
So
people there, right?
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm not gonna go there and be like, hey man, GMO needs to be upgraded this way because I
right,
don't generally play GMO a lot. You know what I mean?
right.
The modes that I played more is creation, superstar mode. That's the two modes I spend the most in. Simple as that.
Were you and Diva
It-
Daddy the only two creators that were invited?
um, that make cause, yes.
Yeah,
But
that make cause.
it was pretty simple with him because I spoke to him like right in that morning when we were waiting for the bus, and we're like, okay, we're gonna cover that, cover this, cover that. But at the same time, there's not enough time, and you know that there's not enough time for us to sit there, talk to devs, record footage, and get everything done My laptop charger died as well, so a lot of the footage that I was recording was
Yeah, I
kind of like,
remember.
you remember that? Like I had to
Yeah,
go
yeah,
like
yeah.
to a
I
different
remember.
location, and like I said, it's no, I'm not. Everybody was great. The whole entire 2K staff was great. The developers were absolutely pleasant, very welcoming, but you know, it's the truth.
What was your
So,
full experience at Creator Fest? Like, you said they're welcoming, everything else. Like,
yeah.
how was the vibe when talking to them about issues that need to be fixed within the game?
Um, some were a bit confused. Um, maybe that's the impression I got. Maybe they weren't. Maybe they knew what the hell I was talking about. Um, but like I said, I focus more on create superstar. I in universe mode. Like the guy, the universe mode. I forgot his name. He with the glasses. We
Christo,
sat there for yeah, Crystal. We
Christo.
sat there for a good hour and a half just over analyzing like universe itself and superstar mode because no, you've spoken to me. He's like, I'm not really sure what to do with superstar mode. You know, like,
Yeah.
and I said, oh, bro, do I have a bunch of ideas for you because this is it's the mode I play. Um, and but
Which
like
is a
he's
rare breed, man, because I won't fucking touch superstar mode. It's got to be full
I
sandbox
the
for
way
me.
I do it is I set up everything how I want. I put everybody in one roster, the belts that I want, and I picked one guy and I just run the entire. It's like a career mode in a sense, right?
Yeah.
Um, you get the cutscenes. It's a fun experience, but at the same time, it's now if I ask, what's his name, Krista?
Yeah, Christo. Yeah.
Like, hey man, why don't custom logos have materials? I don't think he's gonna understand what I'm asking.
He won't.
Like
Yeah, he
I
won't.
felt like the creative design and the creation guy weren't there, so I felt a bit lost. And
I just find it really weird that they invited
like
you
I
to get
enjoyed the
Patty out,
opportunity. I was very
and
grateful for it, but I was just asking everybody like, hey, you wanna put
listen,
star mode in
this
here?
was my first time at Creator Fest too, so I don't know if like the creation devs are normally there. From my
Yeah,
understanding, like the MyFaction devs are not there all the time. The like now we have the island and My Rise, like none of that is there um previously. This year they had everybody except for the creation suite. So I was excited to talk to David Friedland a little bit. I met him, nice guy. So I would have
that's the
loved
thing.
for you to get the opportunity to sit down with him.
All my critique is about the game. It's never a personal thing.
You're right.
Um, it's just but it gets to a point. It gets frustrating. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if I'm buying a game that's $130, and this is sometimes where I kind of side with the consumer sometimes, where they get frustrated. It's if it worked fine last year, what's the difference this year? It's not like there was a drastic difference. Sure, we made the island. That's a separate another thing, right?
Yeah.
But I felt like all the features that are now in the island, like custom logos, custom designs, custom face photos, are the features that are not necessarily working correctly.
Are you of the mindset that eventually
What's up, Jakey?
eventually creation is going to be locked behind this mode called the island? Because I know a few feel that way, that a lot of stuff is going to be behind
Well,
this island eventually.
I may be wrong, but the way it goes from NBA is everything is stuck inside the city.
Right.
You walk around, you do your mode. I
Talking with
think that's a
Andrea though, she wasn't even familiar with the city, surprisingly, and she's the producer of the island.
it's still the same concept. It feels the same.
Exact same concept. It's identical.
It's just a lot shallow and flat.
Yeah, there are some disappointments
We'll
with the island that were
we get to the island in a bit, but like
yeah, they were brought to her attention. Let's
it's
just say that.
it's I just like I said, I felt like an online mode is not what was needed. But I'm just a fan. Maybe they think they need it and it's ready and they know more than I do and they have like a 5-year plan of what to do.
Well, there's an online community that's been dying to enjoy an online mode within WWE 2K games because the online has just not been there for years and years. So if
No, I know.
the one thing the
I
island did
think
for me, the one thing the island did for me is that it gave me hope that the servers would actually be good, right? That right now, as of right now, I haven't had any major issues, but I've seen the videos of issues. I've seen other people going through problems. Now, if it's on Xbox, PS5, not sure. I've just seen the videos of the disconnects and things that happen, the bugs
I
within the
did have
online.
before I remember like that was one of the topics we covered episode. The last kind of 2.5 days I've been playing on it. Um I think the aesthetic of it is really nice. Walking around, I
Of
think
the
the Easter
island.
eggs are like, yeah, the Easter eggs
Okay.
look great. The arenas look phenomenal. Like that aspect of it is
Yeah.
great. But it's a small island in the sense where if I walk around for an hour, I kind of know where everything is, right?
Right.
But it's also a big island.
It's not even gonna take you an
Like,
hour to walk around that thing. But yeah.
but it's also a big island because it feels like there's nothing to do. There's just
Yeah.
people walking around. Very boring looking people, right? Now I understand for NBA, you're kind of, you're a basketball player. There's a bunch of to me, I feel like there shouldn't be people, should be wrestlers. And there should be activities to do with those wrestlers where you talk to them and you fight them in a match or whatever it is. It's like the roster has 300 people with personalities, gimmicks, music. You can literally have a match on that island with anyone. And
Right.
and I just feel like it's the same concept. And that's kind of an issue I have with this franchise. And maybe I'm wrong. That's not the direction they're going. I just feel like it's like it works here. Let's just take it and put it here. Like we haven't really had an original mode to where this is all new.
Right.
Like showcase I think was but it was technically a THQ thing at first, I believe, because the WWE Attitude
Was
Era
it?
mode. Attitude
Yeah,
Era mode
Attitude
is
Era,
basically
yes.
showcase.
Attitude
You know what
Era,
I mean?
yeah.
And before that was what? Was the Road to WrestleMania. That was
Road
the
to
last Road to
WrestleMania, yeah.
WrestleMania. It was but Attitude Era mode showcase is basically that, right? The 40 years of WrestleMania.
Yeah. Alton with the 9.99 status. Jesse, I love you guys. I know the devs have a limited time, but do you think it is easy as just transferring over the in-game parts and venues to create an arena?
I don't think it's just a thing of like moving a file to another. That's not. I don't believe that's how it operates. Because creating an arena, you kind of have to.
Yo, shout out to Rips, man. Thanks for gifting
shout out to Ribs.
the memberships over here, man. I appreciate you, brother.
But doing the whole as creating, you still have to color it and you have to move it and you have to split it away. It's the same thing to create a superstar. Like a model will have its outfit in a folder and the body in another, but in Create a Superstar, a mask is a separate part. So they have to recreate that completely. It's not just taking it and then it has to merge into the model's head that's to create a wrestler and things like that. So I figured creating an arena is the same thing. I just don't think it's this is probably wrong, but I don't think creation is necessarily a priority. And I feel that way more so because of this game's release. Everything works. And Creation Suite is in shambles, either not updated or not working it right as it should be. And I don't understand because the island is based off you making your character. And the fact that the first year and we can't have our own face in it, it kills it for me. Because everybody has a template of 6. You can move the sliders all you want, you still have the same face. You can move your eyes up and down. I can still tell what you use. Maybe because I'm always in the mode, but it lacks creativity. And then the items inside the island that are not paid is like 10. So everybody looks the same, and the NPCs are uninspiring. So everybody looks like an NPC, right? Even the other day, yesterday, I was trying to recreate Howdy with the mask that you got from the DLC, and for some reason, when you apply his mask, like the beard goes away. So it's like you apply one of the new island hairs. This creates this square here that it's missing, like the tech term would be MRR or something, but it's if you check it out for yourself, you check those islands, you're gonna see a square right here. Like, your face changed completely color, and I look at that and I'm just thinking, like, man, like, how is this an oversight? If this was meant to be the new introduced mode, like, it's marketed so well to be like, hey, get in here. There's gonna be a next gen thing, and you pick exclusive hair that belongs there, and then you have a square on your head that's this colored color. And
so I haven't dove into the creation that much when it comes to the masks or anything.
And
like
most
that.
don't, and maybe that's why, just like you said, they're like, well, 100 slots is a lot. Maybe to them it's like, this is good enough.
Could be. So,
but I don't agree with that statement, especially taking
I don't
my
either,
band.
I understand like where you guys are coming from over on the creation side. At first, I was like, the fuck am I gonna do with 100 cause, right? Like, and then I realized that and then I realized that the creators use those for different slots. So it took a lot of understanding.
We have 2 attire. We have 2 attires for a character, right?
Correct.
We used to have 4 on last gen on the 2K 2014. It's thank you, Harris, for generous comment. We still stuck to 2, and
Yeah.
2 for like a decade now. You know, it's
Let me
been
ask you a
100
question.
slots for like a
Let me ask you a
decade.
question
It's
about
just
alternate
too hard.
attires this year, because they have alternate attires in the game, right?
Mhm.
Now you can set that as an alternate attire and it puts it in a completely different slot. Is this counting towards the 100 cost
Yes.
slots still?
Yes.
Okay,
It's
because
been like
nobody
that for a
answered me on
while.
Twitter. So
Yeah, it counts as which it shouldn't.
it did not. It was not like that last year. It didn't put it in its own section. Like it kept
No,
it all
I
under the
did. I
creator
did.
wrestler. No, 24 did not.
No,
It,
they changed the UI where the create wrestlers things are. So
yes,
when you were
yes,
to edit something new, it would show you just the superstars. Now they merge it with the cause. So if you never went to edit superstar, which I'm gonna assume
yeah,
you
I do.
probably didn't,
No, yeah, I do.
did you go to 24? It's
Yeah,
there. I can show it to you right now.
yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah.
have to tap it.
No, no, no,
But
no. So what I'm talking about is a whole different tab, right? Like, so when I
mhm,
have in an alternate attire, right? This year,
mhm.
it puts it in its own category now. It's not
They did that in
under like the
24.
creatives. No, it didn't. No, it fucking didn't. I could show you the screenshot.
Go ahead. Did you set alt tires? Because it
Yeah,
did. It
yes,
does.
it sets alt attires when you're in edit superstar. I'm not talking about
Yes.
that.
Are you talking about automatically doing it?
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about
Are you
that.
talking
I'm
about this section when you go to
talking
edit?
about when you have an alternate attire, right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
when you
So
go to look or edit your superstars, you'll see
mhm,
every fucking thing pop up in
mhm,
24. You'll see
mhm,
your alternate attires, you'll see your cause, all of that will
mhm.
be in the same section. Now, the alternate attires are in its own section. So if you set something to an alternate attire, it puts it in its own category. That's what I'm
I
telling
don't
you.
think I don't. I know it does, but they did that last year too. But they
No, it
also
doesn't.
merged it with the first.
No, 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 it didn't though. It was all under one screen still.
Right, but if you tapped it, it would be alternate attires, and even when you upload it, it would be like that too.
But it didn't take it out of the cost slots, is what I'm talking about. Now it does.
Oh, okay, okay, and now I understand what you're saying.
Now it
Now it
doesn't.
splits them
Now
completely.
it will
Okay,
take out of the
yeah,
cost slots in
I
its own.
feel like yeah, okay, I understand. I felt like you were
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
it wasn't there because it was still there. It was just you had if you tapped it, it would be there, but
yeah,
in the
yeah.
beginning, it would show everything in one. I think the new UI is cleaner. When it comes to selection and stuff like that. Um, but I like that you can just upload the attire already set. Like I
Right.
felt like the last 5 years when I did that, um, I had to like force the game to do that because it was so stupid that most people are like, how do I even start an alt attire?
Mhm.
So they're just like, oh, status is different. It's like, but this is not even a hack or a mod or anything. I just forced it to do that, but it should just automatically be when you upload the attire, it's already set. Um, I am not touching Brock. Just not for me. Captain Insano probably. I made him
Yeah.
in 22. Yeah, I'm
This
glad
this
they took
this
that
this fucking Brock
suggestion.
Lesnar obsession has got to stop. And it's like, come on,
Nah,
man.
I hear it every day. I've been
It,
here
it
every day since
yeah,
the
yeah.
situation.
I get it. But Jesus.
There's
Uh,
pretty sure there's plenty of good. Like last year was weird because a lot of people uploaded Brock, so I was still getting questions for it. So I was like, dog, just search. Just go out there and find them. Um, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad they made it the automatically upload attire thing. That was one of the suggestions I had when I spoke to them about the bin.
Right.
A couple of other things that I suggested was the My Rise being unlockable. There's absolutely no reason for me to upload them. Like people want them, why they're not available? Now
Right.
they are, which is good.
Well, it seems like a lot of the things that you used to do last year are now available in WWE 2K25
Which is good.
status.
Like
You
I'm
got
glad those,
intergender wrestling. You
which is
got
good.
easier persona cards. You can edit persona cards now, which is
Which is
nice.
something I also asked. I suggested like
Yep.
you should be able to edit because they were programmed to be edited. They were just not
And now you got the My
in the
Rise
menu.
characters. So
Not all of them. There's
not
still
all of
some
them, huh?
missing. No,
I haven't played
but
My Rise yet, so
that's how it goes. First year. But I'm glad all those things were able. Like I was able to kind of motivate that or push that because they were like, okay, well clearly people want this because they're downloading off this dude. Um, but that's my influence in it. Before that, it was just like one of the devs wrote not today's status in one of the moves. But now I can actually say, like, inspired some ideas, which is great. That's good.
I did see this comment down here, man. Sting 97. That's what gets me every time. Crow version, killer creator, great content. Just keep
That's a
banging.
Rebel Cause me one. It's also on my list. The thing is, Creation
Rebel
Suite right
Cause, I
now.
don't think he's on the game just yet. He's waiting,
Oh,
holding off.
I don't blame him. But The thing is, Creation Suite's in shambles, bro. It's like I don't even think face paint. I put a look how bad this is. I put a logo on like wrinkles, like some kind of custom logo, like a wrinkle.
Yeah,
And then I
yeah.
saved it and I went back and it's showing up on the layer list on an arm. Which I'm looking at this like, hey man, like what are we doing? Like what's going on? Which is like I always feel like Chris Superstar is not. It's just kind of like this is good enough. 100 slots. Let's move on. What we need to work on. You know, it's 15 Roman Reigns and 12 Souls to close.
I do think it's very strange that a lot of these creation let's be real at the end of the day. Creation is 100% the reason why people keep coming back to these games, because no other game has a creation suite like WWE 2K.
I stand on that. Like
And
anyone.
so
People be like Fire Pro, like no. WWE games is the best community.
Here's a question for you.
Creation. Shoot.
If UPW comes out, right? UPW is claiming to have the best creation suite that anybody's ever seen. Their words, not mine. I'm just saying the best creation suite that you can possibly think of. WWE's games have been known to look at competition and try to up the competition.
Smart.
Am I wrong for saying that?
I don't think so.
Okay, fight forever.
I like to look at modders too and take these ideas as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is a good thing to me.
We got fucking intergender this year. I mean,
like the camera stuff. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know about the
which
camera
is good.
Stuff.
Like
I'm
glad. I am glad.
Love the camera shit.
I'm glad they see that and they're like, okay, people like this. Let's put it in. Like that to me is what I want. So
yeah,
like I don't have to. It's already a feature. It's better when it's a feature than a third party tool or knick-knack that you got to do. So it's great to just do it.
All right, so now we talked about the creation suites in shambles. Hopefully, we got some patches rolling out. I hope so. I think they're going to address some of that. I don't know for sure. I'll have to get the patch notes. I'll cover it over here on the channel for sure. But besides creation, you have been playing the game. What are you enjoying about 2K25 so far for people who haven't gotten the game yet?
I thought My Rise was great. I had a really good
no
time
spoilers, please.
No spoilers. The gameplay is solid. Even when I was at Creative Fest, I felt like the gameplay is was an improvement from 24. But I always feel like even when I was there, it's like the gameplay doesn't need to be touched. It's just gonna keep polishing something that's already polished and keep doing it more. I feel like there needs to be attention in other modes. Maybe I'm biased because I do other things.
That's where we're gonna have issues, bud, because you're I would never step on your toes for creation. Don't step on my toes for gameplay, because gameplay.
Let me know, because I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it.
Look, this channel.
But we are.
Yeah.
But we are.
What?
You can't tell me the game isn't good. I'm happy with it.
No. It's improved this year a lot.
It definitely works, Creation Suite right now, but so that's the step.
But there's so many things within the gameplay that need to be addressed and need to be brought into the game. This is a gameplay over everything channel. I mean, that's what I'm
completely open for that, but I'm just letting you know what I'm happy with it. I pick it up and I'm okay.
Out here too, right here. JCS gameplay over everything guy. Hey yo, status. You gotta relax, my guy. Yeah,
I don't have issues. Like what is the issues with the gameplay?
So 25, it's fine. Yeah, it's
fine.
Let
me guess. You want it to be more realistic.
I want more pro wrestling in a pro wrestling video game.
See, that's where we're different. I like the ever since 22 and up. Yeah, no, but ever since 22, 2K22 and up, I've liked the change.
Okay.
And every time people that I speak to that don't like the change, they're like, "Oh, 2K19 was the greatest." Not to me.
See, I don't stand on that.
I appreciate ever since they took the 22 to now. I appreciate every little change they've done. Like it's much better for me.
Did you play in the SVR days?
Absolutely, grew up with them.
Okay, so did you enjoy
that's the direction we're going?
Things like weapons physics,
yes,
shit like that, shit that made the game fun, right? That's what I appreciate about WWE 2K25 is they got Cornell on the team now, and Cornell gets it, dude. Like this dude gets it when it comes to gameplay because he's a player at the end of the day. Like the dude is like us. He plays the fucking games, and they added these brawl arenas. They added certain things that you can do within, the underground matches, bloodline rules. Certain aspects of this game has definitely taken the 2K24 gameplay to the next level. And that's what gives me hope for the future, because they're animating new ledge attacks, things like that. Weapons physics are soon to come. Brian Williams has already hinted towards things like thumbtacks and animations with thumbtacks and hitting weapons and reacting to weapons. So it's shit like that I appreciate in WWE 2K25. Because me personally, like, once again, not a creator, so I haven't hopped in the creation suite like you guys. For you guys, you're probably not enjoying the game.
It took us about 5 years to get new hairs, but
yeah,
good
no,
ones.
Absolutely, yeah, touche. And you guys deserve all that shit, and fur fucking boots for the for the Diva stands for sure.
No,
yeah, absolutely.
No, I hear that, because you have to understand.
Oh, yeah.
You have a good game, right? You have good gameplay. You think it's going the right way. Now take communications off. How long are you going to play this game?
Well, for me, it's different. So that's where we differ. Like, I can go a whole year without downloading anything. That's just me.
Wait,
though.
Would you say everybody that plays this game could do that?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I stand with
Creation Suite.
I stand with Creation Suite for sure.
No, I understand that, but like sometimes I see like the negativity towards the Diva sense. That's what you just mentioned with it.
Oh, no, that wasn't negativity. I got a bunch of them in my community. Love them.
Good. Well, I'm glad because it's like, if they want fur boots, then why isn't fur boots being added? Why am I seeing like a hot dog fucking outfit and the fur boots that I've seen these people complain about over days there? You know what I mean? It's like,
listen, I'm not going to sit here and preach for features that I want in gameplay.
I'm preaching for fur boots in the next game. Man, I went on this one.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying that I wouldn't sit here on my channel and preach for something that I want and not acknowledge things that other people want as well. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we want these games to be the best that
I think everyone does. Everyone does, developers included.
I think if they get this creation suite, in order.
Well, we need to unify the creations first, because whoever decided that was a good idea was
fucking status. Come on, man. I mean, let's talk about it a little bit. Why'd they do that, buddy? You know what I mean?
Probably because of me. Because they want to protect from hackers, and I'm like, enemy number one, I guess, on that. I don't think it's personal.
So I want to ask you a question. A lot of people think that mods and like in-game hacks things. No. Let me know the difference from what mods are and what you do within the game. Can you explain that for the audience so they have a little bit more clarification on what you do for the game?
I modified data to where it's still using assets within the game. That's why it can be shared, right?
So is it a mod or is it like a hack tool? What is it?
I wouldn't say it's a hack tool. Anything that you mod the game, you mod the game. People have different opinions on that, but it's like, to me,
I'm just trying to understand
data. You're modding the game. But what you're referencing to something like what other modders do, they'll take a model and put it in the slot that's not there. That's not something that can work on console. So I have limitations to where I can get something working to work on a console, because I don't want to fry, your hard drive and your PS5 and things like that.
Right.
I don't think they passed up on that, Bray. I would wait a bit. I feel like he's coming. But could I persuade you on the first person
or what?
I don't know. I just saw him there. It doesn't tell me what it is. It's not like a spreadsheet ad. This is a persona on May 23rd. I just thought, well, we got some Bray Wyatt stuff, which I'm very happy about. I feel like we should have all of them, and I feel like they should fix the Fiend's hairline, please, because it's jarring and annoys the shit.
You're talking about like the current,
it's just Bray Wyatt's 2023 model with a Fiend mask on it. It just annoys me so much. But yeah, I modify a creation suite to pass its limits to you can have in your console. Certain things crash, that's why they don't get uploaded. Certain things I'm not allowed to upload. I'm gonna have to leave that one at that. And that's it. I think anyone, but the thing is, there's benefits to that and there's a negative. So I understand when a developer or the publisher feels a certain way. But I don't think taking the game off the PC is a good idea, and I sure as hell don't think splitting new creations is a good idea because it's people are like, well, you say that because you're on a PC, but it's like, bro, like there's still 2 other consoles, and we didn't really get something better in a sense, right? At least I don't feel like we got something better on the next gen consoles.
So I'm
It's
gonna
not like
ask.
they're cross. Go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you this question, and please stop me if you can't answer it. Okay, I don't want to put you
Mhm.
on the spot. When you were releasing things like, um, I don't know, data mining, right? I guess is what you guys would call it,
Mhm.
right? Data mining and
Yeah.
telling people, hey, you know, these are the personas that are coming out, or this is the
Mhm.
DLC planned. Has
I
has two
never,
has 2K? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I've never like essentially leaked a DLC or anything like that. I want to make that clear. I've never uploaded
Okay,
DLC early. I know there's some video going around that I uploaded early or something. I've never done that.
okay.
I
So
know I
so
know
any
who's in that list now, but I'm not gonna release it because that's for the publisher to do. That's nothing to do with me. They
okay,
will tell you what the celebrity surprises are. I know who they are because they're there, but that's not my. That's the things of having a partnership essentially with 2K on good terms. It's like, well, I'm not gonna do that to you.
right, right. But
I,
have they approached you in any way releasing like Persona card news or any surprises at that 2
um,
was looking to do?
I have to reach.
Have they reached out to ask you to stop
No,
doing that or anything like that?
I think that's something I can discuss here, but I don't.
That's what I'm saying. So if you can't discuss it, then don't worry about it. I'm just like I
Because
said, stop. Yeah,
you know the we all signed NDAs and things like that. There's some
yeah,
certain thing I can't.
yeah,
Like I never
absolutely.
had to. I can never. The band. I always get questioned. What was it? What specifically was it? Like I can't tell
You
you.
can't talk about it. Yeah,
I just have to. It's just have to
that's
say that,
some
which
that's
I'm
some
like,
legal
which is
action,
okay. Like
guys.
it's not a big deal. It's just be happy that I'm back, and
Right.
I'm happy that I'm back. I'm happy that I'm making content. I'm happy that the game works for you. I'm seeing you
Right.
having a very good time playing. I'm very happy for you. I'm over
I'm
here
enjoying.
crying
Listen,
inside.
listen,
I
listen.
can't put a
I don't
face
mean
for
to
it while
shit on
shop over
anybody's.
here, but but
I don't
hey,
mean to
I'm
shit
glad you're
on
having a good
anybody's
time.
time, brother.
Yo, did you see that Cody
I
Rhodes I put up? That was great. That
no,
was only me tired trying to put a mask on him, and then some skull just showed up.
I'm
Like,
surprised that we didn't get the Cody Rhodes from WrestleMania with the mask.
oh, that's probably what that is. I put a mask on him, and the skull just came out. It was like, oh, new persona. The
Oh,
Steep
okay.
just out. Here's the thing, bro. I I'm a fan of this game, but I absolutely agree when people are frustrated about this creation suite because if you're paying
Yeah.
$120 for early access, it shouldn't be the state that it's at now.
I think it's
It's
weird that they didn't do right by the creation suite just for the sheer fact of like I said, I know the devs. I talked to the devs, a handful of them at least, and every single one of them loves watching what the community puts out there for creations. So to think
You might
that
love it, but maybe not understand it. Maybe think, oh, this is fine because
I don't
they'll
know.
tell
I
you,
don't
and you
know.
said it early. You said, oh, 100 slots is a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to
Well,
me.
fuck, I thought 100 slots was a lot at first, you know what I mean?
Right,
So
because you're just thinking one wrestler. What if I want to make 10 attires for CM Punk? That's 10 gone.
well, now I understand your perspective on it, but it
But
took a minute, but it
maybe
was
they
cool.
need to see it that way, because like
Shout out to
someone
Lee
like
Valentine for that shit too, by the way. She
uh
made sure to rip me a new one after I said that
no,
shit.
but it's an understanding frustration. Sometimes I
Yeah,
see creators literally get so frustrated and people be like,
yeah.
just don't buy the game. It's like I don't think that's the mentality to go. It's like we all like the game. We want the game to be successful. We want, everybody to be happy with it.
You guys are
But
wrestling fans
when
of the day too, so
right, and we all just want to make wrestlers so you guys can, play with them, download them, have fun with it. But when things don't work, or things don't get updated because it's not a priority, because I'm gonna be honest, it took like 2K15 to now for us to get at least 20 new hairs in a one-up game.
yeah.
Like you
See,
got
that's
your
another.
weapons, you got your match cards, you got your
Right. Now you're
undergrounds,
fucking
you
pinning
got
me against the wall over here. All
hey,
right,
hey,
I feel like
hey,
I'm being outed.
you got your caskets, your ambulances, and I've had the same 50 hairs for about 10
Hey,
years, and doing my
hey,
best with it.
hey. Let's take it down a notch, real quick. Status. Here's
And
the thing.
don't
Here,
get me started on the girls' hair. Those things look
here's
like
the thing.
Nutella.
I
Okay,
never fucking asked for caskets. I never fucking asked for underground. None of that shit. Okay. It just came. All right. Not one video was I
well,
requesting any of that shit. Let's just
I'm pretty
throw that
sure.
out
Like,
there. I'm happy it's there
when we
now.
You might
But
have a casket match.
yeah,
Play it once and never, Thing
I
with the
did,
casket match is it's got boring after 3 times. That mini game.
it's the mini game. That's what it is. I don't think the casket match would be boring had we had a different way to go about it, but I'm not going to get into that on this pod, but that's
You
just what it
could.
is. You
I
know
got
what I
time.
mean? I'm just not a fan of this. Like when they brought, so that there are, look, I am enjoying WWE 2K25 as of right now. Like I'm going to nitpick it later. Don't get me wrong. Like we're going to
And you
find
should.
things that,
I feel like
that
everybody should.
frustrated me. Well, you got to keep them honest at the end of the day. Like they
You
know
have
I love them. I have no problem. I have a great standing relationship with 2K and everybody involved.
Likewise,
And
they're
so
extremely nice to me, but
amazing
the
people.
creation
Yeah,
mode
I
is
have
not
no
working.
problem.
I
They
can't
said
fix it. You kind of have to, so I'm gonna wait until it's fixed.
yeah. So, but they also know my content. Like when we were at Creator Fest, Lionel knows my criticism towards things like showcase mode, right?
Mhm.
Like he wanted me to sit down and play the showcase mode. We were talking a little bit about this off air. And I kept telling him, like, dude, we got like 8 hours to record everything within this game. Like, I didn't even really get a chance to actually enjoy the game while I was there. The most I've enjoyed it has been here at home. But that's because I feel like I was rushed at the Creator Fest to just like, look, I got to get content recorded for the community so they can see everything that's in this game. But Lionel convinced me, pulled my leg, said, you have to sit down and play this opening part of the showcase, right? So
Yeah, I spoke to him briefly about not being able to import our own face
yeah,
to the island, and he said it was something that couldn't be handled right now.
yeah, it is
I
what
think
it
it
is.
should have been, in my opinion, I think it should have been something that should have been up here.
Yeah.
But
So, but anyway, yeah, the criticism is definitely there for things in the game. As far as like the gameplay goes right now, I'm enjoying it, but right now it's still, I feel like the honeymoon phases of 2K25, and I'm gonna end up finding things to nitpick.
It's fine to nitpick. I'm okay with nitpicking out of preference. I just don't think when you buy a $130 game for early access,
Yeah.
and people can tell me don't buy it, and it's fine. But been buying these games since I was like 11. And then something doesn't work, you should be vocal about it. Everybody, I see people on Twitter just telling people to shut up because this call mode doesn't work, and I feel like no, you should be vocal so they know and they can fix it. You should also be respectful, because that's also another thing where people are like aggressively. It's like, no, just go out there and be like, hey, this isn't working. Like,
Well,
I need.
and here's the thing too: bad faith
But I understand
criticism
both sides.
isn't going to get nowhere with these guys. Like they're just not going to fucking listen to you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so you can critique them all you want. You know what I mean? But there's a way to critique them without being a douchebag about it, right? So, and
I can tell you, I like the game and I had a great experience. But the combo right now is in shambles, and it's embarrassing that it was released the way that it was. I can absolutely tell you.
I wish I keep going back to like David being at the event. I really wish that you and Diva Daddy could have had an opportunity to sit down with them, because we need our and listen, and I stand by this too. If I don't know what's going to happen for Creator Fest next year, I don't know if I'm going to get the invite, if Status is going to get the invite, but
probably not. But
some of the people that do need to
get
the invite are definitely creators. Like invite some of these creators. It doesn't have to just be content creators on YouTube, but I understand why they do that, because they want to.
It is a promotional event, so I understand that. I feel like there needs to be a better connection with the development team and people that are high. And it don't have to be an event. It could just be a communication thing where it's like, hey, put that there, move that there, do that there. It doesn't really have to be, you gotta fly me over so I can play this early. Like that doesn't do it. You can have a conversation with a dev without doing any of that. And they can take that feedback without doing all that. Beer Fest is a promotional event, so I get that it has to be, and everybody that was invited should be there. Because sometimes I see, like the Vibe guys, they're like, oh, they got invited, they're just being chills, but it's like, nah, these guys were there as well, offering feedback, and I was right behind them listening to it. So I don't necessarily understand where that comes from now.
What I felt about the event when I was there is I feel like it was short, but I'm talking about the devs, like in the vibe check, I guess. Not vibe guys, but just the vibe check when it comes to the devs.
Yeah.
They were allowing us to vent frustrations and allowing us to give that feedback in a pretty reasonable manner, because I was picking Christo's brain for a long time about the universe mode, man.
Yeah,
Like it was
me too.
one thing that I was talking to, and Andrea from My Rise and the island, right? Like the first initial reaction to seeing the island is there's not enough to do here. It's 1v1 online. You don't have 2v2.
Can't change your entrance.
I can't go and spectate a friend wrestling. I can't. What is there to do besides the story? It's basically just another story mode.
It's flat.
Yeah,
it's not a story mode, because let's talk about story mode, because My Rise is a good story
I know
mode.
you got your. I know you got your.
We got cutscenes. You know, we got people. If I go backstage and I talk to somebody, they're moving, they're looking at me. We are in 2025, and the island story mode is screenshots with renders. That's a PSP game mentality, bro. Like Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2 for PSP has that because it was a PSP. We're in the next gen console, the next gen exclusive mode, and I'm having R-Truth, busting and down on my screen and doing twirly dances, saying to pick up his car keys as renders when his model is in the game, and he could just be talking to me, even if he doesn't have his voice, because I understand there's a restriction of recording. At least stand in front of me and talk. Don't bring up those stupid screen with the same reused renders from 2018 that have not been updated since 2018, because after 2018 they just give you generic poses for renders.
Can I be honest?
No, go ahead.
Can I be honest what I think the island was? I think the island this year, just judging by what I've seen so far, I'm not too far into the island, but just judging by how it's set up and everything, I think this was just a temperature check, man. Like this is a temperature check. How is the community going to react to the island? How are they going to like what is here? Are they going to want more? These are the questions that knowing the devs the way I know the devs for the most part, this is questions that they ask themselves constantly. Like, is this something that the community is going to want? Obviously, the island is not going anywhere. Like, this is a permanent fucking thing, guys. Like from now on,
I hate the name. I feel like it's going to be.
It might not be the island next year. I think they went. I think they went with the island this year because of everything going on with the bloodline. But yeah, so it might be something next year.
I think it has potential. I think.
Yeah,
I just don't think that the way it was released, it should have been that way. It's flat. Storyline is boring. The creation in it as like 3 shirts if you don't buy anything, which if you go there to grind, cool. Barely connects online.
Yeah. And guys, like I see some of the comments in here too, like the island was nothing but a cash grab. Dude, there's really nothing in the island that you can buy. There's not that much. The thing is,
you can have a cash grab and be good, and I don't think the island is good. And no offense to who was it that designed it?
Andrea. Well, she was the producer. I don't think she designed.
Well, she also made My Rise, so like she does good work because I've enjoyed My Rise.
She's awesome. Yeah, she's great person too.
So, but that island concept, I think it works somewhere else because it's a different audience and it's a different thing. WWE is not NBA, and I think I think, and maybe I'm wrong, but it should be a serious conversation that this WWE franchise is not just this worked here, let's bring it here. This should be some kind of better ideas. I think the concept of the island is just a reskinned My City. It doesn't even tie with WWE. You put different arenas in there. Do you feel like that's a WWE game to you?
No, but here's the thing though. You could tie this to a WWE thing. Like the way that they should have went about it is kind of how they went with the archives in the Brawl Arena. Why not have a place that you can walk around looking at archives, right? Like just the past history of WWE, just like a WWE world, right? Like when you go to WrestleMania, you can go to WWE World.
That's a great name, and that's what it should have been called.
It could have been, but you
another thing,
have more visuals for the island.
Another thing that the island kind of lacks is a championship. We are 10 years in, and we haven't had a championships online.
And online.
We don't have leaderboards in the island, so I don't understand why are we in the island.
There's not a leaderboard. I haven't checked that.
No,
I know that they have like
number one and you're gold.
Yeah, ranking system. Okay.
You take a screenshot that you're gold. Like nobody cares, bro. Like no disrespect to anybody, but like you're gold on the island. There's no leaderboards.
Right.
And the concept the concept of titles, that's a professional wrestling thing. Online has not been introduced since SVR 08 is crazy. Because it's like why am I not like? Why you and I are in the island and I have a
Fucking
title
hated
and
that
you and I
game.
like I hated it too, and I told Brian Williams that because it was off. But why
Oh,
if
it
I
was
have a
terrible.
belt, if I have a belt and you have a belt, we're both in the island, we should be able to compete and put that belt on the line right there and then.
Yeah.
If I take that belt from you, I can then put that belt on the line against somebody else.
Was 08
The
the
thing
last
is,
game that you could do that? I thought it was 07.
I'm pretty sure it was 08. Don't quote me on that because they took it out, I think, in 10 only to bring it back, but it never came back online. But the concept of putting that belt on the line and every single time you challenged for it, you got more stars, it became more valuable. So if you started, you would make more
Yeah, I
money.
remember that. Yeah. Yeah.
They can take that. So we can have a competitive aspect inside the island. And then the more expensive your belt gets, you could just sell it for VC or
Yeah.
sell it for parts. The thing is, there's nothing to do in that mode. And this is what I mean. It's just plain. It's just the NBA game with retexture. And don't get me started on those NPCs. They're so ugly. They're so flat. Oh, there's a guy dressed as Hogan. Oh, wow. Wow. Very nice. Cool.
See, I didn't look at the island with
Yeah, go
that
ahead.
much
Pay attention to
negativity.
NPCs. No,
Like, no, no, no. I mean, like,
it's
I seen him, but
it,
I wasn't
it's
like,
not negativity, man. It's this thing was promoted to be
I get
the
it.
next
Yeah.
gen of these games, right? Like you
Yeah.
need the
Yeah.
next gen version. This is it. This is you need the best version on the best consoles so you can have a very good experience on this brand new mode we're introducing. Some people be like, well, it's the first year. It might be the first year, but it's not the first time they've dealt with this concept.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting more. The fact that I don't even have can put my own face, that's boring.
That was
The
disappointing
the
to me
fact
too.
that the story mode is renders and pictures and it looks like a PSP game where it's like our truth is doing this and that and not talking to you, even if it was just text, it's boring. The fact that the whole story is, hey, go here, pick that up, have a match here, and you're facing NPCs that have been in my GM for the last 3 years, it's boring. It's flat. It's not inspiring. The only thing that's great about it, you can walk around and you have these beautiful arenas that are always going to be stuck there because they'll never get out of that mode. And you can see Roman Reigns' eyes glowing when you walk in there. That's
I think it has some pretty cool visuals within the island, personally.
it has
But
potential, but right
yeah,
now
yeah.
it's not there.
It's definitely
If
flat
I'm an online
on the
player, let me tell you,
experience.
if I'm an online player and I can just go offline, make my character I want, or whatever stats that I want, and I can go online and have a better experience than staying in the island, then I have no reason to go there. The only reason I
Yeah.
have to go there is to get Jordans, branded clothing, and hats, and all that stuff is great. But it's a massive place, and it's you don't interact. Like when I went to the Oscar arcade, and I was like, "Oh, cool, what's in here?" Nothing. You don't interact with it. You can't talk to it. It's just a nice big arcade to make it seem great on screenshots, but there's nothing to do. And you can't tell me in a WWE game there's nothing to do. There's 300
Yeah.
characters here. Put Asuka in there so I can fight her. Maybe earn like or gauntlet or something. No, but I'm fighting these auto-generated characters that they use in my GM, which is just cause really boring looking cause, really generic, like corny, like oh Sharkman and Kyle Slickman, like it's a dude with glasses on, a black shirt and pants. It's like, dog, like this is the WWE. What are we doing? Like, why these characters look the way they do? Like they all have the same moveset too. Have you noticed that? So you're fighting the same person in different skin. You can't change your entrance. So everybody that you're fighting, they have the same entrance. There's not even an option to do that. Everybody has the same time entrance. Everybody has the same music.
I'm gonna be
By
honest.
next,
I haven't even noticed the move sets because every match I get in, it's a
it's
bloodbath
a cheese
for
fest.
yeah for the so
And that's
I don't
another
know.
thing I feel like there needs to be some kind of level gap where it's like if I'm level 1, I should be matched with another level 1. If I'm level 5, I should be matched with another level 5 or 6 or 4. But but I feel like that's kind of what they want. When you go into the island, you face a level 100. Oh, I need to beat his ass, so I'm gonna just buy. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
because it's a business at the end of the day, right?
yeah, of
But
course. Yeah, yeah. I see the business mind behind it,
but
but
on the consumer side, and as a WWE fan, I don't give a I don't really care about having a
let
Nike
me tell
shirt
you
on.
one thing that I do like about the island. Like personally, like any of the clothing that's in the island currently, it doesn't mean that more stuff isn't coming later. But currently,
Mhm.
you know, there's a couple pairs of Nikes, maybe a pair of Jordans.
The shoes are the best part. The shoes are absolutely the best part. Item-wise,
those are dope, but I'm not buying all of them, right? The best part about the island to me is it gives me more to do within just the entire game. Like, all right, cool. Let me go finish these other quests. And then when those are done later on throughout the year, we're going to get more added. So that aspect I thought was cool. That, all right, cool. You're giving me a reason to come back. Kind of like MyFaction with the events or, Persona cards, whatever.
Just MyFaction is better in the sense that, you can pick whoever you want. You're not limited to one
It's
character.
Debatable. It's debatable. No, MyFaction is good this year. I will say that. I've actually enjoyed it.
I've always liked it. I'm not gonna be honest. I understand it's hard to get certain characters, but that's kind of like that's the point. The shark mentality they have. But I've always enjoyed it. It's like I use strikers all the time, and that's essentially the only mode in a way that got updated daily. You have something to do. Now the island could have that too, but if I'm fighting, Kyle Slickman and the Dr. Bill, and they have the same moveset.
Oh wait, hold on. We didn't even answer this super chat right here. Did they
remove the image crop and creation? No, it's still an image. I don't know. I haven't tested. I don't really use the image things, the image section on the in the game. I just imported the logo already ready to go. But I don't think they did. Are you talking about like the image logo section in creation, or are you the one inside the Creator Superstar? That's a very vague question.
Yeah. Go ahead and put that in the chat, and I'll pop up your question again. Sorry, guys. I know there's a lot of you in here, and appreciate it. Run them likes up for us too, by the way.
Yeah, click the like button.
Yeah, help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? I see Lex in here. What's good, Lex Express? I love this guy, man. Lex is
shout out to Lex Express.
He's the one. He should have definitely been with us at Creator Fest. I will vouch for him. Great creator, guys. Go check him out if you haven't. I'm sure you guys have, but if you haven't, definitely go check him out. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, my whole thing with the island really is just like, all right, cool. It gives me something else to do, to pop out of universe mode, pop out of my rise.
It's not the first thing you're doing, though. It's not the first thing you're doing. No. Nobody. I don't feel like it's going to be nobody's first thing to do. That island mode was essentially when
neither is
MyFaction.
I'm just saying.
But there's a reason. There's a reason to play MyFaction, bro. There's personas in there.
Yeah, well, and they're easy to get this year, so.
Which is good, but that's something I emphasized when I had the conversation last year. It's like, I understand not everything needs to be super hard to get. There needs to be things where like people can come in. Okay, cool, this is easy. And if you have noticed this year, a lot of more people are playing it because it's an easy introduction to the mode. You can learn things, and then they're gonna keep updating it, even if they have to reuse, models and things like that, which they are. That Seth Rollins 15, that's clearly last year's. I'm completely okay with that because there's something to do. On the island, to me, it comes off as like this is aimed for people that create original characters who want to play online. That's what I get off that mode, right?
Right.
But there's no competition for it. I don't see a leaderboard yesterday. I'm walking through people. That was a big thing when I was at the events. It's like, why is this happening? And people are like, oh, it happens in NBA. Why? Why do you guys just accept that it happens in NBA? Like, I don't want to walk through somebody.
Do you play NBA?
I don't understand. No, but I did a lot of research, and I was speaking actually to Aaron at the event, Simply Better, and he was kind of telling me like how certain things are, and he also had a bit of a concern because he's like, what if moves is next? What if we have to go to a dry mode to unlock moves, or a yeet taunt, or a new choke slam that I need? And then it becomes restriction. The island also came with a sacrifice of cross-platform configurations that nobody asked. I don't know anyone who went, yeah, that's a good idea.
No.
Everybody suffered from that. So I understood if people went sour. Like, when that was announced, I had to figure out a loophole, which I did.
So, well, I did ask you at the event. Well, not at the event, but we were having breakfast before we went to the event, and I asked you a question. Do you think, and this was just me, not knowing, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that any of your creations had anything to do with servers crashing? And your answer was you said it could be.
The hair stuff there.
Yeah, the hair stuff. Okay,
the double hair.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. In two creations, I would absolutely take full responsibility on it. When I uploaded the intergender woman, you could go back to that post. I told everybody, don't edit those characters. Okay. There's a ranking system. Is that like the silver and gold? Does it tell you who's number one in the island? Let me know because I played the entire story and I just like I was just earning things. But is there a thing where somebody tells me who's number one in the island?
I haven't
Do they
checked,
get
so
something for being
I
up
don't
there?
know.
No,
I don't know.
I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
Like I want to be educated in that sense because
Yeah, absolutely.
I felt there's nothing to do, right? But back to what I was saying, the intergender stuff. When I told people not to edit, they still did. They wanted to go in there and change clothes, and I told them not to. That's gonna crash. Full responsibility. That's on me. I should never release that. Same thing with the double hairs. I released that for creators,
Right.
people that I knew, but I realized that my range is a little bit bigger now.
Thanks
at the
for all
time.
that too, by the way, because all my calls were fucking bald in 24. I
Hey,
appreciate
that's not my fault.
that.
But the thing is, I understand where that cause issues when I tell people this is not necessarily a feature, man. Like you want to use the hairs, you got to make some combos, but some combos are gonna crash.
Right.
So could that aspect of the game be blamed on me? If you go into a match and you change hairs and it crashed on an intergender character, no. But if you're inside Creation Suite and you're changing body parts and you're changing hair and it's crashing, 100% on me. Me putting logos or like the Rock's new tattoo on a character, that's not gonna crash your game.
Okay.
Anyone or any.
Hey, I only asked just to
No,
learn,
I'm
right?
I'm completely okay with that because I know some
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have been concerned. Some of those people are inside, um, and no, don't blame me putting an updated tattoo on the Rock on server issues because that's not fair to me. You want to blame me for moving to the hairs and they're colliding, crashing, 100%. But anything after my ban, none of that stuff was made with double hairs or intergender. So anything after the ban and I came back, I was good. Like you cannot blame me for any server issues because you're blaming community creations and the reason why okay and even to I don't know if that's what you're essentially implying because that's the reason they're split. That's not the case. I'm not the only one that does this, you know what I mean? That split was a
Me?
business decision. No, I'm just saying in general.
Oh, no. I asked you strictly about the online servers when we were in Florida. I was just asking you, hey, do you think
Yeah.
that this had
Double
anything to
hair could
do?
potentially cause issues.
I don't know. That's why I was asking because I'm not a game dev by any stretch of the
No,
imagination.
no. And I like questions like that because I think I could actually kind of give more of an insight. But like me putting CM Punk's tattoo on, the Pepsi one, it's not gonna crush nobody's game. Like that's
Right.
even just. But the thing is, when
And
you
you
play
can't
online,
just to reiterate, you cannot do that this year, right?
no, they've implemented a system. Not sure if intentional. I don't think it is. I think it's just their job. To where if I put it, the game infinitely loads and locks, but it doesn't shut off. It just locks. You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
not
wow.
it's not a real crash in a sense. It just spins forever. It's something that's like if this happens, operate this way. Could be wrong, but it sucks that happened. Because I felt like the company itself is not giving you updated attires for whatever reason. Maybe it's budget, timing, licensing, whatever it is. But the community was taking care of that, and we were kind of just doing our own thing here.
Well, we obviously
That's
know
not
why
here.
the Pepsi logo's not in.
Right, but if it's user-generated content,
Right.
it's not something that can be. And if it's an issue, they can just remove it. If anything, I've already even told them just reach out. I'll take it down. But that stuff is not an issue. Issue is when stuff breaks the game. Then I absolutely understand, and I have no issue taking anything down. I've said that before. Even before that whole ban fiasco, it's a communication thing. But no, double hairs when you're adding them in Creation Suite, if they're crashing, yeah, I take responsibility for that because that's not a feature. It's not meant to happen. You put two long hairs
That
together.
shit was out there so much, like in 24, that you honestly didn't even. I didn't know what the fuck I was downloading personally because when I was downloading the next time, because I had a whole AEW roster, right? Like I was running an AEW universe at the time, and when I went to go play it, I was like,
and
yo,
they just wiped it all out. Yeah,
well,
the patch came with
yeah,
it reverses what I did, and it removes it completely. So when you have to go there yourself and give them a hair.
yeah.
But I that needed to be done because and I say I'll take full responsibility to upload that template. I should have uploaded that template for other content creators, and they should have just made calls with them. I should have never uploaded that template to, I believe.
Here's the thing, though, with the template of the double hairs, though, if this is something that kind of I can see why creators get frustrated. This is a tool that you guys used to create better creations. We mentioned this to David Friedland when,
Dr. and I mentioned that as well,
and everybody was there.
And the reason why the double hair was created, The reason why, but technically you can have two, which is like it just if it's two
I meant
colliding
like as
animations,
an I meant like as an option. Like, why couldn't you
you
stack?
can have two. But the thing is, it's possible if they take one hair, like hypothetically speak, they take a short hair, right? Like
Okay.
Shotzi spikes, right? And
Right.
you merge it with Triple H's long hair, it's not gonna break because only one of those hairs has a set of animations. That's how it works. You collide two long hairs with two animations, they're gonna crash because there's too much going on. But that's something they can polish to where it could work. But now, if you haven't been in creation mode, sometimes if you pick a mask, it's not gonna let you use a hoodie. Have you ever
Okay.
come across something like that? Because there's like a no, they
Yeah,
will
yeah.
literally
Oh, yeah,
tell
yeah,
you
yeah. Yeah, I know what you're
if you
talking
use
about.
this, you
Word.
have to
Yeah.
remove a piece. That
Yes.
same system could be implemented with two hairs. But that's
Okay.
something they're gonna have to do. The reason I went for the two hairs, and it was essentially a frustration of having the exact same hairs. Occasionally, they would have two on a patch, mostly for men, not women, because that's another thing here. Women should have way more hair options than men because women are more prioritized with hair than men are. Men is slick back
Yeah.
hair, a fade, and But it took so long to get there. It took to me to make a hack that I had to like stack that's when like the frustration comes as a content creator on that side of the creation suite because why am I going out of my way to double stack hairs when these hairs, not this year but the years before, 24 and down, it's still hairs from 2K20, right? It
Yeah.
still is
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
clay texture that's disgusting, that's not presentable, which I avoided the hell. But every time they patch a new hair, like they patched the AJ Styles hair and maybe one of the Edge ones, they looked beautiful. They looked good because they were taken from AJ Styles or Edge or whatever it was, and they were like redone. But the old ones, which we had the majority of because nothing ever got
Mhm.
updated until 25, were horrible. They
So
weren't
you guys did get a lot of updated stuff for creation, but then
absolutely. We
the
have a lot. Yeah,
okay.
they gave us so much stuff. They gave us a mode that based on your creation, but they were like, yeah, but that thing you
And
guys like to do
let
is
me
gone.
let me just like stop you right there too. And if I'm sounding like condescending, I'm just trying to learn
No,
here.
go for
You
it.
know what I
I
mean?
mean,
Like,
you're
I'm
not
not like
condescending.
trying to
I
like say that a
appreciate
certain way.
100% transparency. Go
Okay.
for it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I'm just trying to understand your perspective on what goes into these creation parts, right? So,
Mhm.
um, totally on the creator side because I fully believe that
Yeah,
without
you don't have
the
to explain that
creators,
to me. I know.
yeah, yeah,
We've
yeah.
had
Okay,
conversations when you were
okay,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
but these fucking guys don't in the audience. You know what I mean? I just have to reiterate that we are on the internet, right? Like the place that isn't real.
Yeah.
That's just
A lot of
that's
stuff will be taken out of context from
yeah,
here.
yeah,
I
yeah,
know.
yeah. It is what it is. But yeah, so it is just, you know, I don't know, man. Like it just seems counterproductive to not update something that is such a big feature within the game, especially when it's the best creation feature that you can possibly think of in a
The
game.
thing is,
So,
the solution for it, at least for Creator Superstar, I'm not talking about the other ones,
yeah.
is if you were to, let's say someone new gets added in next year. Give me somebody that's not in right now. Um, just thinking. I don't know. Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Say they add him next year. They're gonna give you the outfit parts. You're gonna have the boots. You're gonna have the knee pads. You're gonna have the trunks and the tape. Just put the hair too. That way, every new character that gets added, the hair comes with it. So every game will have more and more hairs. That will then translate to the island where you're gonna have more and more options to use,
Right.
and everybody is freaking happy. And then you enable cross-platform so everybody can share the shit and enjoy it. Now I'm seeing what I'm
I hate to
seeing
break
now.
it to you, man. I don't think cross platform's coming back, brother.
I don't think it is either. I don't think it is. I don't think that's the plan. I don't even think PC is gonna come. It's gonna stay here until they drop the other
Do you
two, and
think
then
the
it goes
island
with
ever
it.
makes it to PC? I don't think it does, personally. It could. I could be
On a
wrong.
technical standpoint or a decision standpoint,
Technical. Like, do you think the island
yeah,
will
the
be
PC
on?
can absolutely handle the idle, 100%.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I know it can handle. I'm talking about just like, do you think they will incorporate that next year?
If
Because
there's money
we
made, yeah.
okay, all right,
The thing is, I don't know because in my opinion, if I'm publishing this game and I'm making it multiple versions for it for different consoles, if somebody owns like expensive computer, they're most likely gonna spend money on that island.
okay. Pop Shot with the
This
$5 said one thing I wish they could fix is 5-man factions. Like if I want to put someone else in, it breaks the 5-man faction. Like, why can't I put anyone.
I don't like that it requires mods for me to put 4 people in the stable and I can't pick a motion with 4 people.
Kenny Mom says modders would make the island amazing.
Oh, but that's where I kind of want to like if first on the mod concept, because that's the fear. The fear is, you know,
I
that as
don't
well.
think
The city's an NBA, but
I don't
the
think it's
fear,
on PC though. I don't think the city is on PC.
I'm not too familiar with NBA, but
I
Rex
don't think it is.
Carter, is it?
I could be wrong, but I don't think it is.
No, but
Yeah,
the concept with mods is like, I think there needs to be some kind of middle ground to where if mods are enabled, online services are disabled. Simple as that. So that way, there's no fear from the company. Yeah, the city's on the PC.
I guess it is. Okay, I was
So,
under the
but
understanding it
NBA
wasn't.
is a different beast. It's the I think
Yeah.
if not the most popular game, makes a lot of money.
Yeah, 100%.
We don't know the stats. Is this game pulling that kind of money in?
No.
Like you said, this could be just
NBA
testing
money?
the waters.
No.
This could
There's
just
no
be testing
fucking
the
way.
waters this year, where they're like, well, we have about 6,000 players on last gen, which is PC, Xbox, and thing. And how much money are they pouring in compared to the next gen guys?
Yeah,
It's not a hardware thing. It's not a hardware thing. And no offense to Brian, it's not a hardware thing. It's a decision thing. And if they want to, then it's gonna happen. But I understand the concern of mods because that's an issue. And honestly, as a modder, I feel like it's best to just accept that online services to be disabled, and then you can have your mods.
So here's the thing though. If NBA the city is on PC, then I think the island could possibly make it. Then I changed my mind.
But that doesn't mean cross-platform is.
No, cross-platform's cooked. Yeah, that's cooked, bro. Come on.
I think once the Xbox is done, like it's the end of me in that retrospect. I already expected it. Now I could be wrong, and they could be thinking of like a middle ground where it's like, but
well, I mean,
I don't believe it.
You got enough followers
because you can
now that
no, it's not even about that though.
No. I understand that, but you got enough followers now that I think that a lot of people would make that jump to PC just to get your creations. I honestly believe that.
But we shouldn't be on that level.
I understand that.
The last 2 years, I've had essentially this cat and mouse game with this company to where it's like, hey, don't do that. So they would grab it. They would block it from being downloaded. You can't download island parts even if you remove all the locks from it. It's not gonna let you. You're gonna be smacked in the mouth with content damage. It's just like the Persona cards. The game is operated to where if there's a lock on something that's not meant to be unlocked, and you remove it, when you yourself, like, you don't have anything modded in your game, right? And hypothetically speak, I upload an island here that I just hacked in, right? And I upload it for you, but you don't have it unlocked on your console. And there's no way for you to do that because it's a next gen console.
Right.
The game, when you download it, it's gonna read it. It's gonna be like, well, where's the hide thing for this thing? Where's the tag? And if it checks that you don't have it and it can't find where the tag is, you're gonna be hit with content damage, because that's what the check is. So the last 2 years, they spent all this time to make sure content damage worked, and it's still not been broken yet. And I haven't tried since my ban. So it's working. What's the issue? It can't be virtual currency, because virtual currency is a server thing.
Do you think these guys really think that it is hardware limitations?
No.
You don't think so?
It could be a restraint. It could be a time restraint thing.
Could be.
To where there was not enough time to put it
there.
Look,
man, I mean, they fucking invited you to Creator Fest. I don't think this...
But that doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't make sense to me that they would like, hey,
yeah, but it's like
status,
the same year they invited me to Creator Fest. They're like, yeah, you're going to hang out in last gen now, buddy. You know what I mean? It's a business decision at the end of the day. I can't take that personal. Okay. Like, I appreciate the event. Full gratitude. Everybody was awesome. Like, shout out to Ramon and Lexi and everybody that was super nice to me. But business is business. And if what I do is a problem, whether if it's for their money or they feel like it's a threat, they're going to cut me off. It doesn't matter how nice or great of a content creator I am. I do feel like it's just how the beast evolves, in a sense, right? It's like, hey, dog, like, we want you here. You can make cause a normal way. But I don't think we have to accept that sacrifice. I hate that my PC is struggling with PS5 and I'm stuck to that last gen community creations. I feel so bad because I think the most downloaded thing is like 10,000.
Okay.
I know. This is still early access. But
It's
if you check our
super
next,
early. Yeah.
yeah, but if you look at the next gen one, which is the current gen, I keep saying next, but it's the current. It's a lot. It's a way more, like
Mhm.
way more. And in hypothetically speak, PC is not there, right? It's just last gen for real. It's gonna be a lot less because I would potentially not
It
be there, right? And
is
it's
PC available to share between it is
yeah,
available to
it's
share
it's
between
it's
PS4
PC,
and
PS4, and Xbox One, and
okay.
it's PS5 and Xbox Series X.
I was just making sure that
Now,
the PC wasn't its
when
own
when I,
thing.
when you send those news to me, you send those news, and you
Mhm,
were like, "Hey, I don't see how this is working because you and 2K are good." And I said, "Yeah, but
yeah.
business. If the development team goes, we don't want to deal with that. We really don't like, like they could go out of the way and be like, okay, we're gonna make mods offline, so we have no issues. But they can also go, we don't really want to deal with that at all, so we're gonna just sacrifice maybe the 12 to 15,000 sales on the PC and just focus on this. We'll make more money here, and it'll be less of a headache. It comes down to a business decisions from them if they care enough. If they don't, then we have to take it on the chin. It's just how it is. I'm prepared for it to be gone in 2027, 2K27. Like I still think we have one more year, and then the PC is just gone. And it sucks because we're not gonna have a WWE game, even though for the last 6 years, four
I feel
years.
like that's a missed opportunity for more money though, and that doesn't sound like a
Well,
company to do that.
yeah, but it
All
doesn't.
to prevent
But
patches or
at the same t the thing is, eventually the PS5 can already be jailbroken to be modded. So eventually something new comes,
Mhm,
right? To where those issues are always gonna be there. They've already went out of their way to have this rat and mouse game with me for the last 3 years to where they've essentially won, right? Because
yeah.
they've put content damage. No way to hack VC. At least I don't know how. I've seen everybody tell me like, nah, you can't buy that. There are gonna be issues with hackers, but it's also on the companies, on the team, whoever's making the game to take care of the servers. They have to take care of those hackers. That's part of the job as well. And I just feel like taking the PC away, yeah, it's gonna take a lot of like even this year we're gonna take a hit because we can't even add textures to models, update tattoos. We're just stuck to hair and beards, which is one addition. But how long is that gonna last until they take that out again?
So you don't see a patch coming to fix any of that shit at all?
I don't see a patch coming to fix where I can put in-game logos on an in-game superstar like
Well,
CM
I
Punk
know that
because
shit's probably cooked, but I'm talking about like
no,
the
I do.
issues
I,
that are coming up
I do.
for
I think it's gonna. I feel um like of a better judgment. I feel like it has to. It's still you're still gonna play the island. Those issues need to be fixed. You can't be, you know, you can't have the way the mode is now on the official release. You can't have the mode like that. Like it's
yeah,
already embarrassing as it is. Um, but you can't have it like that, in my opinion.
for sure.
But
Look,
some
I
people
stand
they're
with
they're
you on
just like Mexico. No, but it's the frustration comes from like real frustration, not on a vindictive or aggressive thing. It's just like, bro, like why did this work last year? And you're making me pay. You're not making me pay. I want to pay. I want to support. I want to get this game. And then when I go create something, even at the event that I was invited at, why is this not working as it should? And then I'm telling you, and it's still not working as it should. And I feel like now it's just more of a process of like getting a patch approved and getting Sony and Xbox to push that out and all that other stuff. And and maybe that might come day one and we're all this conversation will mean nothing. But at the same time, bro, like the cross platform, I still think it's gonna go. And I think PC and then last gen will go with it. Like I think the days of that are gonna be gone because it's easier to just throw it out of the window.
do
Will I
you
be
think this
proven wrong?
is if they did remove like cross platform
Which it did.
for PC, you know what I mean? Like more though, like completely X
Yeah.
PC out of this. We only release games now for PS5, Xbox Series X.
Mhm.
Is that like one step closer to becoming cross play for Xbox
Yeah.
Series X or PlayStation 5? Because I think that fans have been asking for that for quite some time too.
I think it's possible. I don't think it's maybe something in their mind where it's like the whole 100 slots thing. It's like, what the hell would you want that? I thought the island was going to introduce that. That's why I thought it was split. It was going to be a server thing where it's like, okay, these two are
I
cross
thought
play.
that too. I did think that too
And
as soon as we
that's what
found
I
out. Yeah.
thought the reason was when I watched the interview with Brian, which was good. You were like, he was like, well, it's hardware limitations. And I'm thinking like, No, it's not.
Shout out to Conrad Cushman. He's the one that asked that question to Brian. But yeah, everything
Okay,
pro wrestling. Yeah,
but,
yeah.
well, yeah, but it's what I mean. It's not a hardware thing. I just when something goes to the next generation of consoles, and in our case, current, why doesn't it feel like that? Why am I not playing with the Xbox Series X? You know what I mean? Why am I not? One suggestion: if they do bring the island to the PC, I do think the island server on a PC needs to be its own and not tied with the other ones, because that becomes a competitive thing to where I do understand that hackers are going to go out of their way, because they do this in NBA from the research that I've done the last 2 weeks, but even before Creator Fest, where there's still hackers in there where they max out like shots and they could just auto shot. But that's not the consumer's fault. That's the company to track that down and stop it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
but maybe their easy fix is to get rid of it altogether, right? I mean, obviously
that's what I fear.
Like you said,
Because
there's always going to be
makes,
something
makes
new.
money, and I feel like it's worth keeping it there because
Listen,
people
man,
are, you know.
I remember playing Xbox 360, SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was so many hacks and mods within
that was probably my fault.
Were you playing that? The floating,
no, because I was one
shit?
of the, the rock bottom to a stunner.
Well, there was a lot of shit. There was a lot of shit. It wasn't just that.
That's when the creator moveset came out. I think it was one of the first people that tested the moveset mod, and then it got to the wrong hands, and then the wrong
creative finisher.
The clans. Yeah, it got to the wrong hands with with clans and stuff like that, and then eventually just spirals. But that's a realistic things to look at in a sense, right? SPR 11 is a perfect example of that. They just let that go. But THQ was not on top of that either. THQ was not banning anybody. THQ was kind of just like, yeah, whatever.
Well, there was no patches for that shit back then.
Yeah, but it's the company that has to be on top of that. And if they have a relationship with me, they can be like, "Hey, dog, how is this happening?" And I'll be like, "Well, this dude's doing this because he's hacking the game and making the stats 1,000." And
I guess that's what's confusing, is that they do have a relationship with you. I just don't understand the situation.
I think, I don't either. Everybody was nice. Everybody's polite, but I understand that being a modder and that maybe a sense of mistrust, but I could be wrong. But to say that they weren't polite or nice to me, I would be lying.
Hey, Sam, so just to address this comment real quick, what Joe is talking about is he's actually played matches with me in Elimination Chamber, and we have never been fucking booted out of this game. Like, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Like, I have personally not been disconnected out of a server yet, but when we were playing, we played about 10 matches. 10 matches, 11 matches. Right? Yeah, 25. And I think it was on the 10th when it was right after the first patch drop that we were able to play online. Because I remember getting the game. I had the game before early access, right? So that's what it was. Like, I had the game before everybody. And me and a couple of buddies that had the game as well, we tried to hop in online, and it was terrible. It was straight lagging. I was like, oh boy, like this has got to be fixed before the 9th hits, right? And then as soon as the 9th hit, they got that patch. The next day we hopped online. I was like, yo, let's try it out. And everything was working fine on the 10th or whenever that first patch dropped. If it's happening now, I can't speak to it because I haven't played online in a few days, right? But what's today? The 13th or something? Or
11th.
Oh, fuck.
Bro, where are you? 13. Like,
dude, bro, I'm telling you, I'm a blue collar worker, brother. Like, keep track of time. You know what I'm saying?
I there's definitely there's definitely an improvement on the servers, but it's again early access. There's also this is the good time to test the servers at least because there's not many people on it.
Right.
I still don't think like the concept of the island is gonna work on a long run server wise, especially when it's those free to play weekends. Bro,
look, man, I gotta have hope, dude, because I'm an online gamer too. I like to have fun with my friends. So, fuck, man, we gotta get
that's real, bro. Like, but you gotta be realistic too. I went online last year with custom attires.
About these fucking servers,
you know. Hey, you went online with custom attires last year, and it would just crash.
Oh yeah, absolutely. 2K has always had an issue with. As a matter of fact, there for a while, I was turning creations off to even try to attempt to get into a game. Not on 25, but
no,
I wouldn't disconnect, but I would have lag. And 24. Let's just be.
I think I experienced a split because one guy, like I said earlier, wasn't moving. You know what I mean? He was just
Okay.
He was just like letting me beat him up, but I don't know if that was like a split. I mean, you know, sometimes you play where like you play with your friends.
Yep.
That's still. I don't know if that's still happening. I have to double check that. Maybe you should give that a shot. But one guy just stopped moving and like, or I came into one match and it said replaced by AI immediately. It's like the island. I've expected a little bit of lag, but it's a lot of cheese, which and I don't think it's against.
Okay, I'm gonna let you guys spoil this for me. Is this true?
AJ is not in my rise.
Okay.
There's not even a single model of AJ in the game. What is bro?
Okay. I was about.
I think he saw a clip of like I think he saw a clip of an AJ creation in my rise.
Okay.
Probably what it is, but there's no AJ. There's not a single hint of AJ in these game files at all. I check every year, nothing there.
Yeah, I see this comment too. Like, so there's 3 people that are very vocal. 3 people on the online servers that I see anyway on my timeline. There's like 3 people.
I think he's justified because I have experienced an infinite crash as well. I think that's justified.
Well, then there you go. And I've actually I can't remember. Maybe Sam Too Saucy is the guy that I was talking to on Twitter. It might be him. I'm not sure. Different names or whatever. But I was telling people, like, if you experience something, send me the videos because then I can direct it to somebody who could possibly do something about it. I don't know if they will, but I mean,
you got connections like that. Damn,
I'm at least giving feedback. Shit, nah, come on.
Look at you, the middleman.
I don't want to hear that shit. You do too.
No, who? Ain't nobody listening to me,
man.
Like,
Hold on a second. Isn't WWE's Twitter following you?
Okay, they don't follow me before, so it can happen again, bro.
Okay,
like,
but check it out, brother.
We can't hold on to that. We can't hold on to that.
Listen, man. Listen, I have been invited to Creator Fest, and they still don't follow me. You know what I mean? But well, we could just say what we got to say. But no, I mean,
that sounds like
direct it to Cornell, direct it to Brian Williams, direct it to anybody like that. At least
I directed a couple of motions to Brian Williams. I don't think he's very active on Twitter, or he's just ignoring.
He's not, because people fucking attack the shit out of that guy, the poor guy.
That's
you know,
that's part of the job. I think that's part of the job.
Well, and that's why he doesn't interact with anybody.
Which I don't blame him, but like it's kind of the thing, right? Like people attack me every day as well.
Yeah,
got to take it on the chin. It's just kind of when you get up there and you know, extremely nice dude, nothing against him, but when you say you're the dev of a game.
Yeah.
Now everybody's gonna take something wrong. It's on you.
I get it.
Like
I get it. Yeah.
Like that's just.
I think the misconception though for Brian for his situation is that because he's like the poster dev, right? Like he's the guy that does the interviews. He's the guy that does all the stuff with the community, right? Like he's the face of 2K basically. Is
visual concepts,
visual concepts. Sorry. But yes, it's. That's the situation. So they see Brian and they think he can fix online. He can fix universe mode. He can fix my GM. He can fix creation. It's like, no, this guy is making.
But he knows the guy that can, though. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He does. He
knows the guy that can.
The feedback.
I don't know the guy that can. So when people send me that, like DMs, hey man, this isn't working, I can't help you. And I'll say that right now. I don't work for this game. I have no connection to this game. I'm a consumer just like everybody here.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. So
sending me DMs that something isn't working is most likely I cannot help you. Like I have no connections for anything to be fixed.
I'll tag him on Twitter for sure. Like I'll tag Cornell, and Cornell's been very helpful too. Like I've sent him a lot of feedback since early releases happened. Because look, at the end of the day, people are gonna see shit that I'm not gonna see in the game, right? Like if they're having problems, like it doesn't mean that I'm running into that shit too. So if you're running into it, you got video proof. Send it to me like on Twitter. I have no problem like you guys tagging me with that shit, because at the end of the day I want the game to work, right? Like I want the best game possible for all of us. So
I think everybody involved is, whether it's the COD community, the mining community, the YouTubers, the developers, and the 2K themselves. Everybody wants the game to work.
Yeah.
I just think certain things take priority over others. Like the characters in the game. There's a lot of recycled women. So I feel like women's wrestling fans have a complaint. Some characters just copy and paste it. Like that's a concern. And we're not going to pretend personas are not a thing. And they can't. That's a concept to be used with that. But other people were taking priority over, Shotzi and Cora being one of the two that didn't get updated. And people go, well, they were injured. No, they came back. They had different looks. That just wasn't a priority at the time. Something else was. Maybe it was Solo Sikoa with, the tribal chief suit, or Solo Sikoa with the red suit, or Roman Reigns 22, Maybe those were, to me, I felt like not a big deal. I don't know why we have a Solo Sikoa persona. Weak, in my opinion. But that's the connection that sometimes there's like a little bit of.
Wait, you don't like the persona from Solo, or
it's just a man in a suit that took priority over something else getting updated. That's how this works. It's a time thing, right?
Yeah.
So we have Solo Sikoa, and I use him as an example because I feel like the most useless persona is Solo Sikoa with a red suit and Solo Sikoa with a black suit. That took priority over other characters. And when people come out on Twitter or whatever socials that is complaining, they're like, hey, Shotzi still has spikes, and she's actually part of my rise. Spoilers.
She was part of my rise last year too.
But I understood. Last year, I understood. She had that hair for 3 months.
She had that look,
A little too late. You know what I mean? But she came back in the Rumble of last year with green hair. If that was the look, it's updated. Then we're moving forward. When people complain about Alexa not being updated because she just came back, I get it. Like that one, I understand there's not enough time. But everything else,
Charlotte too. Yeah, Charlotte
as well. But like everyone else, it's like I'm looking at these characters and I'm just like, this is the same model. These characters are not a priority. Solo was, because he's in the showcase. That's a priority. But it's just him in a suit.
Yeah.
Twice, by the way.
I get it. Yeah. There's two of them.
To me, who's deciding that? It goes, well, that's clearly more important because we have a showcase with the bloodline than 2 active female players. So when the female fan base goes, hey, like what's going on here? I can understand that. Like that, I think that's valid. And the fur boots should definitely be in the game because it's been like 4 years asking for them. So I would like to support that decision as well. But because at times like people just get loud and they just go, oh, just shut up, who cares? But it's like, no, bro, like
no, I understand that. Yeah.
It's Solo with 2 suits. That's what are we doing?
Listen, the requests are valid. There's no getting around any of the requests from the community. Obviously, everybody's gonna want certain things, but at the end of the day, it also comes down to you can't fucking please everybody, dude. Like that's what you have to take into consideration.
The Solo Sikoa fans are very happy. The Shotzi Cora ones are not. It's business, right? And
I get it.
I don't think they go out of their way where they're like, oh, we hate Shotzi or Cora, we're not gonna. I don't think it's a time thing, and I feel like it's just. Well, this has to take priority. But when I'm looking at my women's roster and the majority are recycled, it's like Marisa's look the same. I don't think Marisa's ever gonna
got some celebrities coming into DLC too. So
I'm not touching that subject because like
I'm just saying.
I feel like there's some list out there and like somehow it's gonna tie to me because that's how people see things now. And I have nothing to do with that. I just want to be clear.
Are you talking about filler list or?
There's like 6 lists around.
Okay.
It's just for like even yesterday somebody was like, oh, we found this in the files, and I'm like, no, I didn't. I did not find any of that. Do not tag me with that. I did not touch that. This is a lie. Wherever's tag, I feel like when other people find stuff, I immediately get tagged that I did it because I guess that's just kind of what I do. But I've never touched DLC. I've never mentioned DLC. I left that alone. Is that clear here and live on the Pro Wrestling Shoot? Status has not leaked any DLC. None.
I don't think that they're worried about that. The list I've heard of a list going around like of a leak, but I haven't seen it. So
I've seen like
I'm only talking about like, listen, they added celebrities. They're adding basketball players.
The celebrity stuff. Are they out of basketball players?
Yes, NBA player three, I do believe, right? From the DLC list.
The celebrity stuff. I feel like if it's relevant to television, I don't particularly have an issue with it, right?
Okay.
But it's always.
When's the last time we've seen some basketball players on WWE besides in the crowd waving?
No, one of them was in NXT, wasn't it?
Was he? Oh, well, here's a spoiler alert. I don't fucking watch NXT
You
status.
should. It's
I'm
great.
live on Tuesday. You know what I mean? I watch
Well, you know
highlights,
NXT's
and it ain't,
on.
and
Great.
it isn't of basketball
NXT
players. I promise you.
phenomenal. Stephanie Vinker, phenomenal. Number one. But yeah, I have no. But the thing about those models to me, the best part is the movesets that come with them. Because I don't think we would have gotten a coffin drop if we never got the celebrity DLC in. Like, I don't think they would ever sneak that in there. So those celebrities always bring like unique moves that are necessary. So they always come with something. Now, the Pat McAfee pack,
That's funny that you
uh,
called him McAfee. Like I've done that so many times.
I'm not familiar with football. I just wrestling. That's it. That's it with me. But I don't think that was to me. It doesn't make sense that visual like someone like Visual Concepts or something like that would be like, or 2K or whatever, be like, oh yeah, this is a great idea.
Let me find out status. Let me find out.
Like, well, how did that happen? I just don't think like that's a really weird decision that both studios would be like, yeah, they definitely want Pat McAfee friends.
No. I'm talking about this fucking comment, man. I said, let me find out.
Status as celebrity guest. Oh.
You getting scanned,
Only,
bro?
only on last gen. Okay.
You sat here and
Like,
complained about all the models not getting updated, and you're over here getting scanned.
I'm not on the island. 100% not on the. I'm not allowed there. I'm only out. No PC. But yeah, the McAfee DLC got to be see the middleman.
Stop.
He's over here reporting for duty. He's
Knock
like,
it
oh man,
over.
your game's not working. Let me type that in real quick.
Hey, look,
Status, you complain about Bray Wyatt's hairline and you want some fur boots?
I told everybody that I have involvement with or in talks with or anything. Like, if this ever gets annoying, don't worry, just tell me to stop sending shit over. But at the end of the day, my main goal is to have shit fixed in the game, working for everybody best as possible. Obviously, nothing's going to be perfect about a video game. You're always going to run into something, but if we can get the main problems fixed,
same issues every
year. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah,
that's the frustrating part to me. It's like,
and you're right to feel that way.
If creation worked last year, why is it broken now? Sometimes I feel like it's creative decisions where they're like, I don't even know who that is. Who's that? Dr. Gorilla?
That's man.
I've never heard of this dude.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got Legends Create. I don't know who that is, bro.
Call me a middleman though, so I don't appreciate it.
Yeah, but I feel like sometimes it's like creative decisions. They're like, oh yeah, they will definitely, not want opacity. Who needs that?
Yeah,
because I feel like even, I don't know what was his name, the developer for the Creation Suite.
David Friedland.
I don't know if he, because I saw the interview you had with him, and I think it was with Icons of the Ring.
Yeah,
I was there, and he was like, we added some cape, and I feel like he kind of sees it more on the standpoint where it's like a kid picking up the controller to make like a superhero kind of wrestler,
and that's probably what it is too.
And the other side of the community kind of like, hey man, we kind of want new hairs. Oh yeah, but look, you can dress as a hot dog. I feel like that's where the disconnect is. Maybe that can be improved in the future, but I feel like mostly it's just, oh yeah, it'd be cool to have capes for superheroes. One of the most annoying things about that Creation Suite to me is entrance specific items, because that to me is the dumbest decision. Like, oh, you can only have a cape on your entrance. Like, why? It works without it.
I can see the disgust in your eyes as you say
like,
it.
No one. It's little things that I think to myself, like, who asked for this? Like, oh yeah, specific entrance only capes, specific entrance only like jackets, and I'm like, why? Because I've made that work on ring attires, right? And it clearly works on ring attires if you set them as managers. It's operated to work.
You know that you know that quest that you do with Xavier Woods in the island. I'm sure you've reached that, right? Because I think you're a little further than me. Where you unlock all the robot parts and shit like that. Spoiler, sorry.
Again,
guys.
Aiming for.
That's definitely for kids. Yeah, 100%.
The 13 to 15-year-old to be, Superman against Roman Reigns in the island. It's not really aiming for people that, need
Wrestling fans.
creation, wrestling. I
Wrestling
wouldn't say
fans.
just wrestling fans. It's just, oh yeah,
I
well,
would.
I feel
Shit
like
don't
that's his
pertain to wrestling.
mentality. I feel like that's his mentality. I don't mind having the goofy stuff, but it's never wrestling goofy stuff.
I don't think that. I don't know if David Friedland has anything to do with the parts that are in the island. He could. I don't know. Like once again, like
Well,
all I
it's
know
pure
is
speculation. I don't know.
yeah,
I've
yeah, yeah,
never
yeah.
met him. I wish I
Yeah.
had, because then I could have sat down with him probably those whole 6 hours and be like, all right, bro, like we
Well,
gotta
I'd
go
love to.
over
I'd
this
love to get
fast."
another interview with him, but I don't know if 2K's gonna allow. And if I do, it probably won't be live, just because of the last
Why?
the last interview. Well, it just
What
didn't.
was the last?
I don't know if you
Last
heard,
one?
but it just didn't really go that well.
But that was because of you. That's because of the news.
No, I get it.
You should
I
take that
get it.
as feedback. It's like, okay, well, nobody asked for this. We should probably reverse it.
And I'm not saying that 2K said that it would happen. That's just me speculating. Like
Correct. But
so.
it's that standpoint. There's
Yeah,
never
yeah.
any issues with the developers with me. It's sometimes I feel like it's more of a creative decision to where like those island specific entrant like hairs that's a creative.
Yeah.
It's all people asking for hairs. Let's make them buy. It's kind of that business thing that they want. They
Yeah.
want you to spend money. The entrance only items. That's a creative decision. Oh yeah, you would only wear a cape walk into the ring. You wouldn't wrestle with one.
That could just be because of animation, maybe. I don't know. Like
No, because if you set that creation to be manager only, where it just hangs out in the corner,
yeah.
then it works.
Okay.
It-
Well, because I
it's-
know that
it's-
that entrances have
I-
like item
I
specific
think-
things within them.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
but those are props, which are
Props,
completely
yeah,
separate
props,
things.
yep,
Without
okay.
without there's separate.
Why not have like those entrance specifics to the props section and not your creation suite? That's all I'm saying.
I want from them every year is to kind of leave it how it is, right?
Yeah.
Upgrade the textures, because right now we're at 512 for face photos. It needs to be at like 1024 size wise, because the models I think are 1024 to 2048.
Yeah.
4K textures. And to like every time you add somebody in, add the hair and the beard. And that goes for everyone, and just leave that in there. There's like three requests for now. There's way more, but like for now, let's just start with that. To where, and no, when I was there, I would tap Brian Williams on the shoulder a lot, be like, hey, make sure to bring back cross-platform communications, because nobody asked it to be gone. It became kind of a joke by the time the day was over. He goes, oh, I know what you're gonna ask. But I just wanted to emphasize that point, that nobody asked for that.
Right.
Like right now, I see people like, oh man, I wish I could get that Naomi outfit, but I can't because it's PlayStation 5 and I'm on a PlayStation 4. But last year I could. There's not really nothing limiting me from exchanging that, aside from
and a lot of the great creators too are going to carry over to current gen, right? Like that's just
I would have if it had more. I would have done it too. I'm there now.
Right.
I've been ready. It's just they decided that the PC isn't worthy of that yet, which I think is frustrating in a sense, right? Not only to me, to other people.
We're gonna wrap this up, but I do want to touch on one more thing, man. So there is a notion going around in the community, obviously it's in the Twitter space, that maybe we should get some of these creators NDA'd and just kind of going out there to test some of this shit out before the games get released. Not a creator fest or anything like that, but just going in and like some
beta
of like
testers.
Yeah, just
I don't think they need to be flat out. Just send them a code.
Yeah,
lock them
either
into
way.
a beta, and
either way, creation suites, things to add, just a feedback program for some of these guys that might not know the difference, right? Like you say,
honestly, like since we're on that subject, like when I went to Creator Fest, a couple of creators came to me, like, status, be warned, because we have offered feedback year after year, and you don't really see anything, right? Now, I don't know if because the developers thought the ideas were bad, or because they just thought, well, that's not a priority right now, right?
It could be a mixture of anything.
But when creators come to me with that, I felt a bit discouraged, but I still did it anyway. I was like, okay, well, let's go this way. Let's go that way. Let's do it this way. And maybe it's not. I don't think the devs go out of their way to be like, well, we're definitely not going to update that. I think it's more of like there's certain things that are more important than LED things being in Korean Arena. Like solo persona with the red suit is more important than my face photo morph being working on launch day. Things like that. But it could also be, like you said, lack of testing. Maybe they're like, "Yep, wrap this up." They played the island, the event. We're good to go, right? One guy complained a little too much, but aside from him, they're all good to go because they played the island, had a good time. So it works in the island. We're ready. Or maybe something happened to where the version that we played, something got updated, and then something messed up. But at the end of the day, it's we can't blame anyone else but the company that made the game in a sense when something gets shipped like that. So I understand the consumer being frustrated that if they want to create, they can't. Like there's, I feel like it's the company's responsibility to take that feedback and to fix as soon as they can, which I think they are doing. But that's just speculation. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, right? But I hope they do. I think by release day it'll be fixed. I think. I hope.
I think these guys, from what I've seen so far, they're hearing the feedback. I mean, I know people hate,
but are they understanding it? Like, let's put you and I to an example. If I give you feedback about Creation Suite, you're gonna look at me like I have 6 heads. If you give me feedback on the gameplay could be better because you want thumbtacks, I'm
not a creation guy. So that's what I mean. So
that's what I'm saying. So the department guy we were talking to, the creation guy wasn't there.
I'm an online guy and I'm a gameplay guy. So if you give me the online shit, am I going to understand it? Yes, absolutely. If you give me gameplay,
but if I put you in,
yes.
If I put you in Creative Suite, you're gonna be like, all right. But I feel like that's the same thing with the developers at the time. But I could be wrong. But when I'm talking to people about gameplay and they work on a GM mode, they work on MyFaction, I'm like, hey, it's not working on the call mode. They probably, I didn't see anybody write down what I said. Maybe they have really good memory and they just remembered it. But it was said. And I feel like a lot of creators that go into these events get smacked in the mouth on Twitter, which I don't think it's fair because a lot of them give genuine feedback. I saw with my own eyes.
Yeah.
But they have that concern. They're like, hey, we've been asking for things for years and nothing comes from it. And under devs' defense, in a sense, maybe it's the priority thing, maybe it's money, maybe it's time, or maybe it's just not that important. Like you said, he said, well, 100 slots was too much. I don't think that's too much. A lot of people in the community don't think it's too much.
His words weren't it's too much. His words were it's a lot.
A lot. Which
that's the
words. Which in his mind is like, the hell do you need more than 100? Because I feel like in his mind he's just thinking like, hey, the wrestler, you made a superhero, your friend makes a superhero, we got 2 slots. What do you need more for? But that ranks up in like a month. It's like people make attire packs, RVD attire packs. And when I got RVD and Rey Mysterio, they have attires every week, and people want to have that in there. And we are at the point where we have left Last Gen behind in a sense with a new mode on Next Gen. It's time to start having that kind of conversation. How are we gonna start from there? Because right now we sacrifice cross-platform in a sense for an island. That's not my words. That's the thing that you posted, that little reply, right? Because that was a concern. The reply from you made a video about what was it? FNN or something. Like they said cross-platform is disabled because of the island.
Yeah.
That's the sacrifice, was the cross-platform. This game lives off people updating attires themselves when there's a new pay-per-view. 2K is not doing that, and if they do, it's very rare. Like we got Roman and Rock last year, and it's very deflating because it was Rock in a tank top and Roman with a man bun on and a tracksuit.
Yeah, I think people expected The Rock to have like his full-blown theme.
When I saw that on the files, I was like, Rock 24. Oh, dude, like we're about to get like at least some kind of, even just his outfit, you know what I mean, with the tattoo. Even if it's just that same outfit, new tattoo, new commentary, that's enough. And I think in 23 they did Asuka, but it was so rushly done with they kind of just put the paint in the attire, kind of the same hair, but that was close enough. I mean, the next year, obviously the real version came, but the concept of personas needs to be used to update superstars, and it isn't. It's used for Solo Sikoa and his red suit and black suit.
I get that. Yeah, I understand.
It's even last year was like Triple H with a mask on, which was it was like, well, what are we doing? And then the
last year with the personas, man, I persona hunted, right? Like I got everything that I could, except I think the only one that I didn't get was that Undertaker 24 or 22 or whatever it was.
20. It was 20, thing, which is a confusing concept in itself. I think it's easier.
Well, now oddities are much easier. So I already told James too. I was like, man, ain't no way. Like, because if I can't use it in universe, well, it's not that I can't use it. If I'm not going to use it in universe mode, I don't give a shit about it. Like, that's pretty much how I'm looking at the personas nowadays. Last year was fun. This year probably won't care too much about it. My faction's a lot better, and it is actually fun to play this year. But as far as like spending money or anything like that,
I'm not a money spender, which probably
I was last year. So last year I did.
No, but here's my concept with the money spending. Like, let's take a character like Undertaker 20 we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to unlock that and you spend money and you get it, he's still, somebody posted a screenshot of him on Twitter that he's still in the game, just locked away. Mm-hmm. So even like Elite Bray Wyatt,
I think that was you that posted that.
No, that was it me? I know I posted the WrestleMania
somebody
40.
Posted. No, you posted the Undertaker
the WrestleMania
20,
40.
Right?
No, I posted the WrestleMania 40. I probably posted 20. I don't know. But a concept of where if something is already in the last game and I unlocked it and paid for it there, why doesn't it just transfer to the new one? Why do I have to re-unlock something that was like it's a very. You got some money to spend, bro? You want to buy some hairs on the island? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm not.
It's business, but it's
this year the Bloodline edition came with VC, so whatever I was able to upgrade my character with on that and get a couple parts from the island, that's what I did. And those parts, I bought those parts for like my created character that's going into my rise. As soon as I get them, like that's what they're for. Like I got some Jordans, but that's it.
Yeah, but I think that concept is cool. I mean,
yeah.
Like,
I don't mind the option. I really don't mind the option. But
it's just that mode isn't ready.
I would be against it if we started locking other modes behind it, like NBA does, right? Like that. If we, well, then if that's the case, then I would be 100% against it because I like having the option. Yeah, no, absolutely, it shouldn't. Because I think My Rise is fine by itself. Don't say that shit. Don't say it'll be a bad idea or it wouldn't be a bad idea. I don't want. Look, come on, man. Come on.
Concept of My Rise and the island merging together. I don't think it's bad.
Look, it's the same producer, so that's what I worry about. You know what I mean? So
I think it should go that route. It's a much better story.
But now you're going to be forcing players into the island.
That's okay. We're forcing you to the My Rise, right? Remember in 2K15, the story mode was online. Like sometimes your friend's wrestler would just show up in a storyline and beat you up. Now it was like bare bones.
I don't know, man. I don't have to agree to disagree, man. I like the options going in and outside of things.
I don't see the point of making two separate stories. And if you want to pay to boost up your character in My Rise, the option is there. You can't do that now. You can't buy it. You have to grind.
I do like the option, but I mean, I feel like that is.
I need an option to where I could just skip the showcase, like whatever option that is, I need it to. It's just
okay. Well, now we're in agreement again, so I'm good on the showcase, brother. Like it's just, I don't know. I think the mode for me is.
I like that thing they did last year where it just unlocked all the characters. I was like, oh, do the arenas next,
I don't even want to talk about that. Like I've been bitching about that on this channel for so long now. It's just like, dude, just let me. Don't force me to go. Like right now, I feel like the first thing, because I got the game on 2 consoles, right? So when I come in here to record some clips or whatever, I got it on Xbox Series X, or if I'm going to stream, I got it on Xbox Series X. Like that's what it is. My PlayStation set up on the living room. That's where I'm having fun and just kind of relaxing. In here, it's business, it's playtime, stream time, all that shit. I still feel like when I pop on a stream, before I pop on a stream, I'm going to have to beat this fucking showcase to get the arenas unlocked and the characters.
I just hate the question marks and the blurs. And it's just like, I feel like those personas are annoying too with the little question mark on the menu.
See, that doesn't bother me so much. It's just like the main characters within the game that I like complain about unlocking is just like, I gotta unlock like John Cena Chain Gang from.
I have to unlock Umaga and like someone like Yokozuna. I like using his title interest for other big men like Umaga.
Yeah, so
now I have to unlock him, and it's that's a frustration we had when.
Hey, have you got to the Samina match?
Yeah, that's why I tweeted today. I hate this mode. I never want to play it because I
gotta
there.
work. I gotta work around that to get you to beat that on legend within like 10
No,
minutes.
I
Easy.
rather eat glass than do that personally because I'm not doing that at all.
I'm just
The
saying.
thing is, I just wish you could just skip it, or at least let me pick whatever match I want to play. Like I don't have to play like
Yeah,
Haku. Like
I'm okay with that.
let me pick Roman and Cody at the end, or Roman somewhere here in
Yeah, let me scroll through
2015.
the menu because it didn't even go
Yeah,
in order. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
So
So
like,
I do
and
like
one
that
day I'm
idea.
bored
Like,
and I want to unlock Haku, then I'll play the Haku match.
yeah,
Just,
I do like
and
that
if I don't
concept.
care about Haku, I can just leave him locked, and I never play that match.
The
But it's all the
accelerator
whole.
is what he's saying. Yeah, it used to be the
Nah, that's
accelerator. Yeah.
gone. Like all you get is legends with that now, which you could purchase with VC. But
JS, I thought that you had to do it on legend because I thought for some reason there was like a trophy or an achievement. I
nah, dog,
don't
that
think
shit
there is.
that's
Yeah.
going on easy. We're gonna
Yeah,
skim
I was
through
gonna
it,
say if
and
there's
then
not
we're
a
never
trophy,
gonna
there's
touch it
no point
again.
to do it on legend. Yeah.
It's not fun. It's
No.
not. It feels like a chore every year. It's like do this
Yeah.
again. It's
That's the
like
first thing I gotta do.
the island feels bare bones. Showcase feels like walking on glass to just get the Roman Reigns and then lose. It's just that. But it was great being here. I just want to say that. And the guys at
Yeah.
Discovery, they were like, you should definitely go because they watched the interview you with Brian. Like, you should definitely go there. I said, yeah. I met him, so I don't see why not.
Yeah, man.
So I'm
Yeah, it was
glad.
great. It was great
Well,
meeting you
thank
at
you
the
for
event.
having me.
And yeah, no, absolutely, man. Thanks for taking the time for one. And for two, I'm glad that we finally got it done, right? Like we were talking about
Oh yeah,
this last year at some point,
let's
you
do
know
it
what I
again
mean?
next year
Yeah,
when
let's do it again.
Crossplatform is completely gone, and I'm like hanging in the abyss.
So we could
You know what I
fucking
mean?
hang me by the abyss too. Like, oh shit, here you
Yeah.
go, status. Here's a platform. Go for it.
Nah, I would never do that to you.
No,
I
it's
actually
all
had to
good.
take that whole when I was banned, I did a podcast with Fatal. I had to take that down because when I watched it back, I was like, damn, why am I so mad for? But at the time,
Yeah.
that day was like I was so frustrated, bro. Like you don't even understand.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
over
I
now.
think
We're here now.
that you weren't the only one that was mad, man. That thing like sent a shockwave through all the creators. Like that even hit me a certain way to where it's like, all right, well, when that happened, like I think Jaren released a video and I seen it and I was like, yeah, that's
Oh,
how I feel too. You know what I mean?
that
Like,
was at my defense, bro. Like I I got fed a lot of things. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And
I get it.
after a while, I ignored you. No, you ignored after a while. But after that day, it was straight up
Yeah,
clash chat. I was like, I'm tired of all of this. All
yeah, no,
like
I
I
get it.
was, and I
I
wasn't
wasn't in
even
that
the angry
position of
one.
yours, but at the same time, like at
No,
the
I mean, me and
time,
Jared spoke about it there,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we have a very
no.
civilized conversation. It was just
But
frustrations built.
Jaren has been in this loop much longer than me. So let's just throw that
Great
out
guy,
there. So, but
funny as
when
hell.
this all happened to you, I was
Yeah,
fresh in the Next Maker program. Like I had just
yeah,
got there. And then I was, I'm seeing online like fuck these Next Makers. I'm like, yo, like, have you ever seen that meme where 50 Cent's
yeah,
like, I mean, what do you say fuck me for? You know what I mean? Like that's
yeah, yeah,
that's how I
yeah,
felt
yeah,
because I was like, damn, I don't even know these people. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck happened?
yeah.
So it is what it
Uh,
is. Like it's water
it's
under the
not.
bridge. I'm glad everything was
That's how I
resolved.
felt. Even like at the time, and even when I spoke to Fatal, not that after that, I said, hey, just take that down because when I went into that, a lot of things that weren't meant to be. But at the same time, I was just literally annoyed with
Yeah.
that day. Like I'm at 100% like annoyed there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that caused the reactions. And I spoke to everybody at the event, and I said if
I
there's
think
any problem with that, and most of them were like, nah, we understood. You were one of them. You're like, I understand where you were coming from.
yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, dude, I'm a grown fucking man and this is a video game. So that's what it comes down to. Like I understand people's frustrations and passion because I share that same thing. Right? Like we have things in common. But even though it could be different passions
My
within the game, it doesn't
frustration
matter.
was
But
more towards the company
yeah, and
because
listen,
it's like,
I get it. Like that's all of us were kind of like, huh, what happened? Um, but it's resolved now. I'm glad it
oh yeah,
was. You know
I
what I
don't even
mean?
think
And
about it.
yeah.
I
So
even deleted the video because that's not how even at the time I probably didn't even feel like that either. If I had a cool head, I wouldn't have talked the way I had and an angry,
yeah,
in a sense, bitter.
it, listen, dude, I would have been pissed off too, especially like
I'm human
because
as
of
well, bro.
yeah.
I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna
it is
lie
what it
about
is. And
it. Yep,
listen,
around the bridge again. Thank you for
you're
having me.
yeah, your passion is just just like anybody else's at the end of the day, dude. And you do this, you know, to help out the community as much as you can. And I think everybody appreciates you for it. Really. You have quite the following. I see what's the status
And
name thrown around all the time.
Like,
So.
I appreciate it so much because, like, if anything happens in the future, or whether if it's 2K or Visual Concepts,
Yeah.
the community is always going to have my back, and I'm always going to have theirs. And that to me is important.
Yeah, no,
And I
absolutely,
feel like
man.
it's important to others too. Again,
It is.
thanks for having.
Yeah, dude. Hey, thank you so much, Status. I appreciate you guys. Follow us everywhere at the Pro Wrestling Shoot. If you haven't subscribed, please do so and like the stream. Help others find this in the community. Share it with other Status fans, right? Like they're all out there. So this guy's got a cult following. I swear. Just share it with somebody. It helps us over here at the Pro Wrestling Shoot. I appreciate. Hey, Status.
Yeah, share it.
Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. We'll do this again for sure.
Of course. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Y'all have a great night. Take it easy.